Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Aussie Formula Racing. We're here for round 10 of this Season 8 Tier 1, and this season is absolutely flying by. We've only got 2 left after this, I think, and then we'll be on to the new game, which comes out in the first week of July, so we absolutely cannot wait for that. I'm Gus Rules, as always, and joining me in the commentary box this evening after a couple of weeks off is Mr. Spicer. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good, thank you. So, we're here at Monaco at night. So, a bit of a spectacle here. It's usually a bit of a processional race. Qualifying is usually everything. But we thought we'd mix things up in this shorter season, and given tonight is also the real-life Monaco Grand Prix, we thought we'd run the track at night. And we've already had Tier 3 tonight, which was safety car free. So, that might be something that Codemasters have broken lately, but it seemed like safety car just would not come out, and we had a number of incidents, so hopefully we get a little bit more accuracy in Tier 1, but apparently the word going around the paddock is that it is actually a bug, as we see people there drifting around the hairpin on his intermediate tyres, trying to save a set of softs for the race. Spicer, what are your tips for racing at Monaco at night?
To be honest, practice, and a good night's sleep. I reckon the whole race, you don't blink. You don't have time to blink. Let's face it, it's probably one of the most difficult tracks on the calendar. You're getting so close to these walls, like you're missing by millimeters. And you got to just make sure you got pinpoint accuracy. So it's going to be the person that's probably going to take out the win is someone that's done a lot of practice and has had a good night's sleep.
Absolutely. And we just had a cheeky AlphaTauri there just dive bomb Feber at the last corner to start a flying lap. I think that might have been...
Yeah, Feber let him by.
Mate.
Yeah, Feber let him by just because Bates got a set of softs on, I believe.
He's on the medium, so he's trying to save a set of softs as well, but opted to use the medium tyre from his qualifying allocation. So jump on board with the AlphaTauri driver. And this first qualifying stint is going to be the worst for traffic, so all 18 drivers will be on the track at the end of this session, so drivers will have to be alert for people on flying laps. We are missing 2 drivers this evening, so it won't be too bad, but it still means there are 3 drivers who will not be progressing into qualifying 2, so they will not want to get caught out with any traffic when push comes to shove.
What do you think we're going to see tyre strategy-wise, Gus?
That's a good call. The mediums actually feel really good at night. Oh, his Batemates just smacked the wall at the exit of the swimming pool chicane, and that's going to be wing damage, and he's come straight back into the pit, so he is definitely carrying some damage there. Big drift from Feber. Oh, there's no grip on those intermediate tyres. It's way too cold, and his teammates actually come through, and Fever drifts into the pit lane. Hero will come across the line. Yeah, the mediums feel really good, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few drivers opt to start on them. It is going to be cold though on the first lap, so
I found the softs actually more understeery than the actual medium tyre themselves.
Yeah, and I think that's probably because they get a little bit too hot. As we see, Potsy comes to the pits. Looks like he had a little bit of a moment there at the final corner. Psycho reckons that Q2 cutoff is going to be a 109.5, and that Q3 cutoff will be a 109.8. Do you mean Q1 cutoff is a 109.8? Because you would expect the Q2 to be a little bit quicker. Than,
I can see what he's thinking. I reckon we're going to see low, maybe high 108s, I think. But cut-offs, yes, I believe he's right.
Yes. Alright, we'll jump on. I think Hero's still coming around. We've got who have we got? CJM, I think, is on a lap at the moment with the medium, so stay on board with him in the Mercedes. Oh, and he's out. CJM is out. He just had a massive crash there coming in the first part of the swimming pool chicane. And that's going to affect Mikau's time as well. He's going to have to abort that. And we've got another car coming through as well. It's Pondon. I think he's already done a lap though. They do have an Alfa Romeo with who's that? That's Captain of Gold that he's done. So thankfully, I don't think this is going to affect anyone too much. Now we're going to have a look at this instant replay here. We were on board at the time, and we've got CJM there. So it comes into the Nouvelle Chicane, and all looking pretty good. This is his second run on these medium tyres, so invalidating his first. And comes through left hand is fine, and whoa. That is odd.
That is extremely odd.
So unless it's a bit of desync, on our perspective, that just looks like he's hit an invisible wall. Yeah, just the front wing pops off. The line he took was fine, and the car just broke. That's really bizarre.
And McLaren was desynced for him, apparently.
Right. Okay, that might make sense. Parked sideways across the road. Okay, so he's crashed into an invisible car, basically. Oh, that's unlucky. That's very unlucky for CJM. So we'll stay on board with... Actually, no, Captain of
Gold. No yellow flags either, so that's a little bit unfortunate.
Tree. It's on the medium, so it's jumped with the Haas driver here. As Pondon sets to 109.5. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of these drivers do multiple laps on the same tyre, just to... Because you don't tend to lose that much performance with a bit of fuel in the tank. And these tyres won't be used at the start of the race either, so... Especially those who aren't going to make it through Q1 or Q2, they're going to have a few extra tyres in reserve compared to the front runners, so... Get the most possibly can out of them. Thank you for the following, Antonio.
It's all about just picking that gap, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And once you're on track, it's not too bad. You can kind of just jockey for position, but it's yeah, it's going to get a little bit tricky towards the end of the session as Trink goes P4 on the mediums. We've actually only seen 7 drivers set a time. There's a number of drivers who have not yet set any time at all, so wait for the tab. We've got some yellow flags in sector 2. Just a few drivers just hang out of the way.
Just let me through, yeah.
Yeah, there he is there. Okay, we've got the other Alfa Romeo of JKO just coming around the final corner, so we're going to jump on board him for the last lap.
A bit of a hard corner at the top of the hill. You've got to try and stick to the middle of the road or the left-hand side so you don't fall away.
Yeah, absolutely. Get off the wrong line and then understeer like crazy. He goes past Casino. Have that bump at the bottom of the road that peels off to the left. He goes purple in the first sector. He goes through Mirabeau and into the hairpin. We're a little bit wide of the hairpin. It's going to cost him a bit of time. It does take the curb nicely there. There's your Sergio Perez corner there, and no dramas at all. As he goes through the tunnel, heading down to the Nouvelle Chicane. You can see the fog. It's a midnight race here in Monaco. And pretty tidy there through the chicane. And, oh, look at the commitment through the left hand as he comes to the swimming pool. Nicely negotiated. Always touched the wall, though. You should be able to finish this lap, but that's as close as you want to get. And he comes out of the final corner. A little bit of wheel spin. Able to control it, though. And comes across the line fast as the 109.194. That's a stonking lap there from JKO. Jumping on board with... Eckham has aborted this lap, so he says invalidated. So we're going to jump on board with T-Mac from Alpine. Again, so much commitment. Going through sector 2 and 3. A little bit of a wobble there coming out of swimming pool. Stieber sets a 109 flat. It's going to be safe enough, I think, to get through. And T-Mac across the line, 10th with a 110.2. And we'll jump aboard with Eckham again this time. Hopefully he's able to set a valid lap this time around. Yeah, CJM, we were on board at the time and can confirm you just hit an invisible wall on our screen. It's very unfortunate there. Oh, Zekem had a little bit of a mistake there, Casino, and I think that's his lap done, and I think he's got wing damage as well. He's parked it up at Mirabeau to let, I think that was T-Mac go through, and he is gonna have to come back to the pits. That's him done. Jumping on board with Big Al, the other Alpine. Actually, that was who was just let through by Ekem. He goes into the tunnel now.
Ooh, a little bit wide. Yeah,
Now he's cut the chicane, and that's it. His lap is done. We'll see.
Have to go again.
Anyone else on a lap at the moment? Combined YouTuber is currently on a lap, I think, sitting in P13 at the moment. Did a 1:24, so that's not a representative time. Expect him to be finishing this one. With flags flying at swimming pool. Looks like they've cleared just in time. Not too bad through the final couple of corners. Nice short shifting, controls the wheel spin, and he'll come across the line. And 111.399, so he didn't gain any positions, and he's just invalidated as well. Took too much curb at centre Vot, and he is going to have to come into the pits probably then this lap. We'll see, we've got Potsy and the Haas on a lap at the moment, about to come into swimming pool. It's a very conservative lap. I don't think this is going to be a representative time, but we'll stay with him. He's most likely going to be continuing on. Psycho asking for... Oh, his bait's out. Baitmate is out and done. He's in the pit lane, according to me. What's going on there? Psycho, do you have an update for us?
Yeah, I didn't see anything on my screen.
Nope, he's dead, he said. Well, he's currently 15th, so if he made it back to the pits, he should be able to continue. I didn't see any yellow flags flash up on the screen. Death and destruction, he says. Thanks for the follow, Cynics. Let's have a look what's T-Mac up to. He's got the fuel light on, so this won't be a timed lap. We've got a Mercedes on a lap of Undercut, so he's on his out lap. We'll stay with him for a moment. What happened, Bait? Do tell.
Still got 3 people that haven't set their lap time yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So CJM will not set a time. He crashed out in that desynced McLaren. Undercat is just winding up to start, and Big Al as well. Yet to set a time. He's invalidated both of his runs. So we're going to stick with Undercat here. Yeah, good point. So Bait has crashed out, so even if he stays 15th, he will not be able to participate in Q2.
That's just the way it works. Same if you are DNF in Q2, you won't be able to progress to Q1.
Well, you can retire in the pits, that's fine, but if you crash out on track, then the game knows that you cannot participate. Yeah. I think I saw in a one of the YouTubers was doing a full qualifying league as well, and after the qualifying session had ended, his AI crashed him out, and he still wasn't able to partake in the next session. So it can be a little bit sketchy, the game sometimes. And a cack on purple in sector 2. Looking very good. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. Ferrari completely stationary. Hope that's staying out of the way of traffic. Xanacat comes across the line, sets a 109.943, is P10 at the moment. Jump on board with Ekem in the Aston Martin, who's just behind his teammate Urban Skyler, and he's starting a lap. So far, it's just he's the only one still running in qualifying who has yet to set a time as his teammate goes deep into Mirror Road to stay out of the way.
Yep, we're already in the 108s.
And Smitty reporting that a few drivers are cutting the chicane to pit. So yeah, just so you're aware, drivers, if anyone is, or any engineers are paying attention, that is against the rules and you can receive a qualifying ban for the next race. So Ali, if you could communicate that to your drivers, that would be appreciated.
Well, it looks like everyone's going to be going through the footage after this race and seeing who they can knock out for the next race.
Exactly. And here comes Ekem. Looks like this lap is going to stand and he'll come across the line. Looks like an okay lap. Yeah, only P14, 1 minute 10.433. Baitmate's still in P15 at the moment.
Well, at the end of the day, if he can scrape through, that's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, at the moment, there's essentially only one person running who could be eliminated at this point. As long as Urban and Combined are able to get through, as Potsy retires, and that was in the pit lane, I believe. It was, yep. Let's have a look at Combined. The Ferrari is currently going through the hairpin at the moment. Mine looking pretty good. Now, here's one of our few pad users in Tier 1. And this is one of the tracks where you probably are punished pretty hard for using the gamepad. There's so many tight, twisty corners. And
it's the lag between the left and right, which is the hardest part up.
Absolutely. So he'll come across the line now. And Combined goes P13 with 1 minute 10.244. Jump back with Ekem, who is just winding up to start a lap now, so stay with him. Both of the Aston Martins at the moment in the cutoff zone. Urban Skyther behind him, about to set a lap as well. And there's only 30 seconds left in the session, so it's do or die for these two drivers. Yes, Ali, I did say Combined was one of the few pad drivers in Tier 1. You're not Tier 1, so you know. Oh, we love you, Ali. Fun fact, Ali's brother, Big Al, is in this race as well, up in P6 at the moment. He's comfortably through to the next session. Thanks for the follow, the hokey pokey. And Ekem, at the moment, always run a little bit deep at the Nouvelle chicane. It's going to hurt. There's a little run down. As T-Mac is out. There we go. Ekem's not looking too bad here. If he can just finish it off here. Oh, he's run a bit too deep in the second last corner as well. And that's going to hurt his time, but he'll come across the line, and it's good enough for P13. Now his teammate's going to come across the line now as well. Does it improve? And that's it for qualifying. Crush and Urban Skyther are out, as well as CJM, who did not set a time.
It's unlucky for those that crashed out. Here comes Q2.
Yeah, absolutely. Okie dokie. So we try and match up the real life races with the races we do in season, but because they can be every 2-3 weeks, we mix it up a little bit. Yeah, but usually we get through a season before before the real life F1 has finished. Okay, so that's our first qualifying session done. So we have eliminated out of the session Baitmate because he retired on track. We also lost Crush and Urban Skyther, could not set a time fast enough to get through. And CJM, unfortunately, the victim of some desync, crashed into a stationary invisible McLaren. Unfortunate for him, he'll have to sit out for the next 30 minutes as we conclude qualifying. Alright, here we go. Loading into qualifying 2, so 15 minutes on the countdown clock at the moment. And this is where it's going to be a bit more interesting when it comes to the strategy. So we talked about it a little bit before in the start of Q1. kind of wondering whether or not anyone's going to be brave enough to get through on the medium tyre to start the race. Now, it does give you some advantages if you can get clean air, go along into the race, and you don't get caught up in any traffic after you pit. Which obviously if you're on the softs, that can be quite a bit of a challenge if everyone else is coming in at around the same time. But you do hang yourself out to dry a little bit if there's an early safety car, so it will be interesting to see if anyone risks it. JKO is currently on the mediums of the garage, but everyone has the softs selected.
Well, this is where they start on the set of tyres they qualify best on. So, looks like everyone's wanting to start on softs. JKO might be starting on mediums.
Absolutely. We see Big Al there overtake his teammate through the tunnel. So he'll be the first one to start a lap in Q2. So Psycho, what's your expected cutoff time for getting into Q3? I think you said something like a 109.3, was that right?
109.8 for
109.8. Okay. There we go. Big Al, a bit of wheel spin out of the final corner. It's going to hurt his time a little bit, but we jump on board anyway as he comes into centre void. Oh, he's hit the wall. He's hit the wall. I don't see any wing damage, but that's going to hurt his time all the way up the hill.
His teammate's right behind him as well.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. Hope he hasn't got any wing damage because that will kill both of him and T-Mac's lap times this lap.
Ooh, it might kill him. Yeah, he's going to be
so close together now. Jump ball with T-Mac. Yeah, look at that. They're so close together now.
Be putting T-Mac off all the way through here.
And Big Al pulls out of the way, so he's abandoned that lap, but I think the damage is already done to his teammate. So Psycho reporting 109.5 is his expected cutoff time to get into Q3, so we'll keep an eye on that and tell him when he's wrong.
T-Mac is invalidated.
And yeah, so shocking start to Q2 for the Alpine drivers. Going to jump a little bit further back to Mikau, who's currently on a lap as well. So apparently Al is actually on the medium tyres in on his game, so it looks like we've got some issues with this lobby, but hopefully it's not too bad. Might just be a bug on the spectator side of things.
I can see softs, definitely.
Yeah, only two on mediums on my screen are JKO and Fever, so it might just be a spectator bug. But Mikau goes fastest with the 109.8, great bank of time. And a cat with the 110.8 has a little bit more work to do. We see Ponton 110.3 and JKO 109.599 on the mediums. A great time there from the Alfa Romeo driver. Now we're going to jump further back. Captain of Gold, the other Alfa Romeo is about to come into the final corner. And he has aborted the lap. So I wonder if he's about to chuck on a set of mediums as well, given his teammate has just done such a good time on the slightly harder compound.
I wonder if we're going to see anyone use hards this weekend.
Yeah, that's true. It's yeah, the softs are a little bit tricky to manage during the race as well. So be interested to see how they go with that race strategy. We see Trin now. We're on board with him, setting his first time in Q2.
Really hard hairpin, that one. You've got to pretty much get two wheels on that inside curb. And
yeah, and if you have to go out wide as well on entry so that you can cut back enough, because if you do go a little bit too deep or take it a little bit too shallow, you can hit that outside wall. So it's critical that you get it right the first time. We've got a bit of traffic coming up for Trin here. Hopefully they are aware of him coming through.
We had a few cuts there as well.
Oh, so Tata stays out of the way. Nicely done. And Ponton as well is not in a great spot. Trin's not going to be too happy with that, but he does stay off the racing line. JKO pulls into the pit, so Trin should be across to the checker flag now. And Fever, 109.468 on the medium tyre. That's absolutely crazy paces. Trin's set to 109.574 on the soft.
This looks like the medium to a much stronger tyre.
Yeah, possibly. We've got Potsy on a lap as well. Bearing in mind, though, I mean, Fever does have esports level pace, so...
Yep.
But do have to take that time with a grain of salt. I see Trin 109.5 is pretty similar to what Fever just did, but on a softer compound. So it just shows Fever's talent and the amount he practices. Ooh, as we see Potsy nearly hit the wall there. Thought his front right had actually broken going over the curb there because it did a weird glitch. But he may have actually clipped the wall there on the way through, but he'll take the... Oh, he's backed out on the soft tyre, so he's set at 110.2 on the soft. Now, he lost a good chunk of time there by lifting. I reckon he might be doing a run on the mediums in the end of the session.
Yeah, it looks like that. Sandbagging a little bit as well.
It's okay, bait. It's okay. So on board with Eckham now as he goes through the tunnel for Aston Martin. We've got 9 minutes left in the session, so a bit of time left for the drivers to set some times, but still got a number who have not yet done so. Eckham combined, Hero, Captain of Gold and Big Al all out on track at the moment and all currently on a fast lap. Second goes Purple in Sector 2. And the commitment there across the swimming pool chicane. Gets a little bit of traffic in the final corner, but Mikau stays well out of the way. Looks like Mikau might be going for another run as he didn't go into the pits, and Eckham comes across the line and he sets the time good enough for P4 with a 109.815. Jump aboard with Hero, who's purple in the first sector. He's going through the hairpin now.
It's amazing that some setups have such a great rotation.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, interesting to see the gears that the drivers choose to go through these corners at. A lot of them opting for a much higher gear than you'd expect going through the chicane, so they sacrifice a bit of that rotation just to control the wheel spin on the exit. You see there, Hero going third and fourth through the final corner. To,
yeah, it's very well controlled.
109.287, so he's 600ths off his teammate, and he's on a softer compound, so that's just showing how quick Fever is at the moment. Jump aboard with Big Al, who's invalidated again. Big Al, what's going on? He's sitting 14th at the moment.
He hasn't got much time left.
Yeah, 7.5 minutes, so he does have time, but he's putting a lot of pressure on himself here to set a competitive time. He's got to try and get at 110.3, and he comes into the pits, those softs.
The hardest thing to do is you don't want to use all your tyres up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just a lap.
Would not be surprised if a few of these guys are using used tyres just to save some of the fresher ones for both the race and for Q3. We're going to jump on board with... we've got T-Mac on a lap at the moment. Big Al's teammate as he goes through the hairpin.
It's going to be an interesting Q3. See how far people push the limits, because if you DNF in Q3, it doesn't affect your racing start position.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think everyone will be watching Fever to see whether or not he can get into the 108s as T-Mac hits the wall. He's gone purple in Sector 2 apparently, but he's invalidated in the exit of the swimming pool. So he is done for this lap. He's coming straight into the pit, so that is him done for that run. Here we go. We've got a couple on an out lap at the moment. I'm going to jump over with JKO, who's on the soft tyre again. But yeah, I'm interested to see whether or not Fever's going to break into the 108s in Q3. It's,
Ando cutting the chicane just to save the tyres.
Yeah, so we've got a report there of a Mercedes cutting the chicane. For your information there, Slacko. And thank you very much for the follow, Fluky Alarm. Hope you're enjoying the coverage this evening. JK's looked like he's had a pretty tidy start to the lap. He's that's come out of the tunnel. He's currently sitting on a 109.6. So he's a couple of tenths off the pace, but it looks like he'll be comfortably through as he comes through the left-hander now. We'll have a look at his delta. He's 3.5 tenths up, so it's going to be good enough to do a 109.2, almost Fever pace at the moment. He's got a couple more corners to go, and he keeps it nice and tight to that wall. Short shifts up to third to control the wheel spin, up to fourth again for the final corner. Opens the DRS, hugs that pit wall, nearly takes out the engineer holding out the sign, and does a 108.9. He's the first driver into the 108s tonight. And it's a
I think
stonking lap
Phoebe
from
did it
JK.
last session at the end.
Well, yeah, he did. But first one for Q2, but
Too.
well done to JK. Looking like he's got a bit of pace
Especially
there.
Q2. Yeah, looks like he's going to be a strong contender tonight.
Absolutely. So Feber's chucked on a set of soft tyres, 4.5 minutes to go on the session. So currently Feber and T-Mac have set their fastest times on the mediums, but both have got soft tyres on at the moment. So they'll be keeping a keen eye on the cut-off times to make sure that they start on the tyre that they want to. Trin, nearly 2/10 up on his time. It's good enough for a 109.3. No, he's invalidated, took too much curb. Coming out of the second part of the swimming pool, and he is done. Should jump on board with Big Al now, who needs to set a time. 4 minutes left in the session. Looks like he might get it done this time. Opens up the DRS, controls that wheel spin. And P2, 109 flat as well for Big Al. So good to get a time on the board now with a couple of minutes left in the session. So currently cut-off time is 1 minute 10.111, 3.5 minutes to go. We're on board with Captain of Gold in the Alfa Romeo, so his teammate currently leads the session. And he's about nearly 2 seconds off the pace of his teammate. He's actually clipped the wall there at Mirabeau. Hopefully he's not damaged that front wing. Comes through Portier. And a little bit of wheel spin on the exit there, so that will hurt his lap time as he comes all the way down this kind of straight through the tunnel and comes into the Nouvelle chicane. Oh, and he has just yeeted it into the wall, and I am not sure what happened there. He's just blocking the road, and I think he's left the session. Oh, he's disconnected. I think his internet died when he was halfway through the Nouvelle chicane, and he's been teleported back to the pits.
That's very unlucky.
Yeah, have a look at that replay. We were on board with him at the time, and he came through the tunnel, and it's like it was always like his controller disconnected when he was turning in, because he kind of just, nothing happened. He turned in late and just kept turning, and then, yeah, you see his AI tried to get out of it, but then it's just parked it on the apex.
That's very unlucky.
One of the Alpines tried to get through and had to take over the curb. Hopefully they were not on a lap at the time. As JKO has retired, so he's happy with his 108.9, and why wouldn't you be? It's a great time. I jump on board with Ekim here, who's on a lap at the moment. He's currently the driver at risk with the 109.815, and currently Tannis, Pondon, Captain of Gold, and Combined YouTube are all at risk. And there's an Alpine, it's a Williams of Tannis has crashed out, and that has ruined Ekim's lap there. I don't know what happened. He might have lost it over the bump there on the straight into Mirabeau. Bring that up again. Just fortunate enough to jump on board with Ekim at the time that he came through. Captain of Gold has rejoined. You see, look at that lot of fog as he comes up past Casino. And you see, turns it into the corner, and there was the Williams. And Artanis is out of qualifying. Potsy has retired as well. He's happy with his time. And we're going to jump on board with Combined YouTuber, who's currently in the elimination zone. 109.815 is what he needs to do to get through. As Mikau is now the driver at risk of the 109.643. Now Combine's up by 2/10. It's only going to be a 110.4, and he's had a little bit of a wobble coming out of the swimming pool chicane. And he may improve, but I fear it's not going to be enough. And a big wobble as well. Coming out of the final corner. He improves by 6.5 tenths. Only good enough for a 109.997 though. There is still 35 seconds left in the session. So he does have time to make up another 0.3 of a second, but that's a big ask at the moment. And he's missed the apex as well, so I think that's going to be him done for qualifying. Gonna keep an eye on the time. Looks like Mikau is just started a new lap as well. Currently sitting P4. Elimination zone is now 109.531. And jump on board with Feber now, who's in the last couple of corners. I think he's done and dusted. And jump on board with Pondon and the Williams, who still remaining. He has backed out of it as well, so he is done. Have a look at T-Mac, who is also done. Dennis Ekim There we go. He's matching his time, but he needs to find... Oh, he's hit the wall. That is in the wall again. At swimming pool, he is done. So it's just going to be Combined YouTuber. He's just behind Ekim. Hopefully Ekim stays out of the way. Combined runs a little bit deep. The second last corner flicks it into the final one. Straight lines. It opens the DRS. He's almost used all of his battery to get this lap in. He comes across the line. And only good enough for P13. Could not improve that run. And I think that is it. Done for qualifying 2. And cutoff was a 109.5. And hats off to you, Psycho. You should go and buy a lotto ticket. We've got eliminated out of Q2 was Eka Martanas, Combined YouTuber, and Captain of Gold with that unfortunate disconnect when he was on his final flying lap. So, looks like everyone in the top 10 set their fastest time on the soft tyres, so they will all be starting on the soft for the race. But everyone outside the top 10 will have free choice, so it'll be interesting to see what
it'll be interesting to see who does the massive undercuts, because this track is very good for undercuts.
Well, I think the undercut works if you come out of the pits in clean air. It doesn't work if you end up behind traffic.
Yeah, that's true.
So we've also seen in real life as well, the overcut can be quite powerful because if the people behind you come out in traffic, then they'll actually be slower on their outlaps than you will be on the inlap. So can work a little bit that way as well. So the quickest time there was 108.7 from FIBA. Absolutely stonking time there. I wonder if we'll see anything quicker than a 108.5 in Q3. It could be a pretty interesting battle between him and JKO. Both of them looking a lot quicker than the rest. But Big Al did set a pretty decent time of 109 flat as well, so don't count him out yet. So 109.531 was the cutoff time there with Eka Martanas Combined and Captain of Gold out of qualifying. We did also have Baitmate made it through to Q2, but unfortunately he crashed out in Q1, so was not able to partake as AlphaTauri were busy rebuilding his car. Thank you very much for the follow, Inigo Gainer. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here at Aussie Formula Racing. So we build up to the real-life Monaco Grand Prix tonight. Do remember that after this we will be having Tier 2. We'll be racing at 8:30 PM Melbourne time, and then we'll be going for about an hour and a half. And be nicely timed for the real-life Grand Prix getting underway just an hour after that. So I'm looking forward to it.
So it's an 11 o'clock start, is it?
11 PM Melbourne time start tonight, so nicely timed after our races.
Perfect.
And, do you have any predictions for who's going to win it? So we know it's going to be a bit of a procession, but there's a chance of rain, so I haven't seen what the weather's like over there at the moment, whether it's come through or if it's just staying away, but that could really spice things up quite a bit.
That's going to be interesting to see. The Ferraris tend to use those ripple strips quite a fair bit, so if they keep off the walls, I'm going to predict a Ferrari P1. And
I mean, it'd be great just if Charles Leclerc could actually start the race this year after having a gearbox problem last year. Didn't even I don't even think he did the formation lap, did he? It was the lap they do coming out of the pits going onto the grid that they realised that he had a gearbox problem. So
I think it's the
reconnaissance
not
lap.
quite formation lap.
Yeah, reconnaissance lap, the one that they do before they go to the grid. So yes, hopefully he does finally finish a Monaco race today. He's used up his bad luck at Monaco in that historical race he did in Niki Lauda's Ferrari, and hopefully it'll be smooth sailing for him this evening. But we'll see. But I reckon if it is going to be wet, I wouldn't discount any result. Monaco, yeah, pretty processional during the try, but had some rain. I mean, I think it was a wet race when they had just 3 finishes. I think that was when who was it? Johnny Herbert got his first podium that race, and
yeah, anything's possible.
yeah, but 17 other cars retired, so never say never at Monaco. Thank you, Ali. Yes, I do hope that I finish the Indy 500 on the lead lap next year, but I did finish, and that's what's important. We got a Mercedes has crashed at Casino there. Gathered it back up again. Doesn't look like he's got any wing damage, but those tyres are not going to be happy. He's able to get the lap underway without any further drama. We're going to jump aboard with Trin now. He's going to be the first driver to start a lap in this qualifying session. The last one before we start round 10 of Aussie Formula Racing. Oh, it goes right up against the wall. Doesn't touch it though. Absolutely centimetre perfect there from Trin.
Got Mick out close behind, trying to use his slipstream.
Gotta be careful though. Doesn't want to get any dirty air in Sector 2. Can be very, very tricky when you're following a car through here. Especially in these 2021 cars. Need to see how the 2022 cars go tonight. The yellow flag again. Looks like Ando Cat having a bit of a drama at the swimming pool, but hopefully he's all good. Trin coming down to Nouvelle Chicane. Nice, precise rear sliding coming out of the corner, but he kept the speed up nicely. Oh, through swimming pool. Oh, he's hit the wall. But he's still going. I think in real life, though, that would have ripped the suspension off. I think he's actually damaged his wing. He's going to continue. He did think about pitting there. And yeah, he's definitely got some wing damage now. Coming across the line, though. Sets a 1 minute 10.4, but that is not going to be good enough, I'm afraid. It's Phoebus to 108.566. And that's his banker lap in Q3. Jumping on board with T-Mac, who nearly loses the rear coming through the final corner. And he'll come across the line, and he sets a 1 minute 9.497. JKO, who, oh, he's gone deep. He's hit the wall, and that's definitely going to be some wing damage on the Alfa Romeo. And he's done a 1 minute 10.470. We know he can go a lot faster than that, so he's going to be very disappointed as he straight lines the chicane. And I'm sure Psycho's not going to be too happy with that. And he's got Hero coming alongside. It's, yeah, not great there from the Alfa Romeo. Meanwhile, Andocat and Pondon still in the pits. Andocat having a bit of an issue on his outlap. I'll be seeing him come out in a moment. Jump on board with Mick out, who has invalidated this run. He's actually hit the wall, so I don't know what's happened there. He's distracted by something. Bieber is done. He's going to be coming back into the pits shortly. Trin is not on a lap either, so it looks like they're all just doing one lap each. At the moment, Fiba looks like he's actually winding up to start another one. So we're going to jump on board with the McLaren and let's have a look at how quick this lap is going to be. And we have it, a lap around Monaco with Fiba, and he did a 108.345, and you can see why. That's an incredible lap.
Yeah, well done to him. It goes to show as well, if you've got clean air, it makes a huge difference too.
Yeah, absolutely. Jump forward with Big Al. Looks like he's on a lap, just finishing one now. Go. Big Al improves by 2.5 tenths. Does a 108.673, but you can see he's still a couple of tenths off Fiba. Potsy as well. Next closest to 109.3, the second off Fiba's time, but we've yet to see a representative time from JKO, who's just come out of the pits, so we'll follow him on this outlap and jump on board to see if he's got anything to respond with at the moment. 5.5 minutes to go. Still plenty of time. So what do you think, Splicer? Do you think anyone's got anything to really answer Fever there? Is JKO
Um,
completely messed up
maybe not
Newell chicane
Fever,
there?
maybe not Big Al, but I think there's definitely going to be maybe Mikau, Hero, or JKO going for P3 or P2, definitely. So it's only a matter of time before we see. We've only got 4 minutes 50 seconds left. So we'll see who can set that last and final lap time.
Absolutely. JKO hasn't validated the first corner. He cut the curb there at centre Vought. And yes, Ali, he did cut the Nouvelle chicane. We're not sure if he just went too deep or if he just straight lined it. Well, I'm sure Psycho will have a look at that one. Oh yeah, that's him done. We're going to jump aboard with Mikau now, who's going past Casino at the moment. And he's backed out. He's done. So, looks like he's doing an extra warm-up lap by the looks of things.
Yeah, I think during the week they were doing a bit of testing with tyre life versus fuel load, because you go out qualify, you go out with 4.6 laps. So it'd be interesting to see if they're just doing a few laps to get rid of the fuel load and then trying to do a final run.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing... Trin's run a bit deep at Maribor, and that's ruined his lap.
I think I saw a bit of wing or a bit of contact there.
I don't think he touched the wall on my screen, but... yeah, a bit of decent. But yeah, he's boarded this lap. Jump aboard with Pond and Nose climbing up the hill towards Casino.
Very clean lap so far.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not set a time out. This is his first run, so I reckon he might have saved a new set of tyres for the end. And just left a few laps of fueling, so he can do them back to back. And the cat looks like he's done the same thing, although he did have that spin on his first stint. Ooh, as he hits the wall, so if he's done any wing damage, this might be his final run. 2.5 minutes to go. And he comes across the line. And P3, 109.2, so great time there from Pondon. Jumping on board with Endocat now as he comes into the Nouvelle chicane. And taking too much curd. We got a bit greedy, and he's invalidated. Jump on board with, I think that's actually Hero's going to be coming out of the tunnel now. So hasn't set a representative time yet. Looks like he may have... oh, he's nearly lost the rear in the exit of the swimming pool chicane. He's gathered it back up and he'll come across the line. And he sets a 1 minute 9.2. Only good enough for fifth though. It's definitely got a few mistakes to iron out there. Looks like Andocat's not doing a... fast run this time around. Let's see, I think we've got a Trin there. It's on a lap. Yep, we'll jump on board with him. We've got a minute 20 in the session, so enough time for at least one more lap from each of our drivers, but it's going to be it. Mikau is done. He comes to the pit lane, only good enough for 7th, 109.4. I think that's JKO just behind Trin as well. A little bit of a wiggle coming out. 40 for Trin. The Nouvelle chicane. Yeah, he's really good with the chicane there. Doesn't take too much curb. Really controls the wheel spin as well. Swimming pool. Oh, he's so committed. Bit of a wobble though in the exit. Oh, he nearly clips that inside wall there. Charles Leclerc did it a few years ago. And he comes across the line, and that's P6. Coming on board, JKO, P3, 108.911. And it looks like we've got Big Al. No, T-Mac on a lap. Oh, he's invalidated as well, but he's racing to try and get to the start-finish line to start a lap. He's only got 5 seconds to go. Is he going to make it? I don't think so. Trin's done. And that's it. Checkered flag. T-Mac is not going to get another lap in. Jump on board. Big Al's done. Jump on board with Pondon is done as well. The Haas of Potsy has lost it. He's lost it out of the swimming pool there. Hopefully stays out of the way. We've got a McLaren coming through. And... oh, don't do that. Endocat hasn't set a decent time. And there's Potsy facing the wrong way. And that's completely messed up Endocat's lap. He's invalidated anyway, so that's not too bad. And Hero comes through. He's also invalidated, and Potsy still parked it. I think that will be it as Hero drifts into the pit lane. That's it. FIBA with a 108.345 takes pole position from Big Al P2 and JKO P3. We've then got Potsy there having a bit of a spin at the final. Second last corner. A P4, then we got Pondon, Hero, Trin, T-Mac, Mikau, and Endocat not setting a representative time there at the end, unfortunately for him.
Going to be an interesting race, I believe, Gus.
Yeah, the front half of the grid's a little bit mixed up. We expect Mikau to perform a little bit better than that. Potsy as well, reserve driving tonight. Put in a stonking lap there to get P4. Pondon as well, very good lap from him, good enough for P5.
Yet again, like, it's all well and good being fast. You got to be consistent. And
that's it. And the opening lap could be pretty interesting indeed. Yeah, 108.345. Great time there from FIBA.
Yeah, I think that'll be a top 100 for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the follow, Wheels Up. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here on Aussie Formula Racing. Just wrapped up qualifying for Tier 1. So we'll have the race underway in a couple of minutes. And then straight after that race, we'll be into Tier 2 in about an hour's time. So stick around for that if you'd like, as we build up to a real-life Formula 1 Grand Prix at Monaco. So your predictions there, Mr. Spicer, thinking that Bieber's going to run away with it, or are we going to see a little bit of a fight towards the front end of the grid?
Look, in all honesty, anything can happen. It just takes FIBA to have one little mishap, which we have seen in the past, and that'll be basically it. So if he does keep it clean, I think he's got it in the bag. But yeah, we'll see who the consistent ones are and the ones that can time the pit stops perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll see FIBA try and build as big a gap as he possibly can to P2 and then wait for them to pit, push a little bit harder on his in-lap and then come back out in clean air. So unless there's an early safety car and he can keep the lead into turn 1, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we see out of this race. But do let us know what your predictions are in the chat. Anyone got their favourite driver, or they've got a bold prediction for this race tonight? You never know. Be mixed up a little bit. F1X George, Pondon win easy. He's in a very good position, so if there is a little bit of an incident in front of him, he may be able to benefit from that. So you never know. Safety car lap 1 from Isaac. We haven't seen a safety car yet tonight, so could be on the cards. Now,
any tier is going to do it, it's going to be tier 1.
Absolutely. Tier 2. Tier 2 will be wet, so there'll be...
Yeah,
all right, so everyone on the softs except for Ekim, Artanis, Batemate, and CJM opting for the medium. So, yeah, it was an interesting choice of strategy there. But, yeah, I'm a bit surprised that so many drivers have opted to go for the alternate strategy when maybe they are expecting there not to be a safety car so they can go long into the race and pit a bit later on. Problem with Monaco, I guess, is the alternate strategy, you can't, even with the pace advantage on the soft tyres at the end, it's still so difficult to overtake because you need to have a really big pace advantage in order to be able to get past on the straights. So,
yeah, I know some of them are running a little bit less rear wing, just so they got a chance down pit straight with DRS.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
Because I believe that's the only DRS zone with what?
All right, well, they've just come out of the swimming pool, so they'll be forming up in the grid momentarily. And here we go. AI takes control, and they'll form up. Traffic's not too spread. We do have a Mercedes just coming out of swimming pool now. It should be forming up in just a moment. There we go. So Feber's in position. Can I get a better view? Come on, Cody's, give me something. There we go. Last car forms up. There we go. Lights coming on. And we're away. A little bit of a slow getaway from most of the drivers there, but Feber takes the lead from Big Al. We've then got, I think that's Trin and McLaren side by side. We've got a few people taking the curb across. We've got a Mercedes and an Aston Martin side by side as they're coming up the hill, but they got sorted out nicely as well. And, oh, as we see, the AlphaTauri nearly go straight up the bum. Someone into Casino. But they all go single file as they go into Mirabai. Look at the Mercedes there. Dive bomb on the Aston Martin. That's Endocat there trying to go for a move. We're going to see... Oh, there's a big concertina into their hairpin, as we always see. The Ferrari's going side by side through the hairpin. Don't often see that at all.
Yeah, I don't think there was much they could have done there.
No, it's always a tricky one when everyone's so close together. We'll see if anyone's made up any positions there. So Hero and Pondon have swapped places. So have T-Mac and Trin. Ekam and Endocat have swapped places. So that's why Endo was so desperate to get back past the Aston Martin. He's lost out at the start. Captain of Gold up one spot. Crush up two. With Combined YouTuber dropping down two and Batemate dropping one. The rest of the drivers maintaining position. And look at that gap. Feber's already out to a 1 second lead. And... look at that, fair bit of clean air between. We've got Artanis and Captain of Gold coming to the pit, so wouldn't be surprised we've got some wing damage there. And yeah, we see the front wing getting brought out by Williams. We did see a few drivers go nose to tail into the hairpin. So unfortunate for them, they'll be at the back of the grid and hoping for a safety car to gain some of that time back. Look at that, 1.5 seconds already. Big Al dropping back. Feber showing a lot of his raw pace at the moment. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the plan. He's just going to try and build up as much of a gap as possible as early as he can to cover off any possible undercut that could be coming his way. And Ekam as well for P10 is dropped off nearly 3 seconds off the back of Mikau. I wonder if he's got a little bit of wing damage here that could explain why he's dropped off a bit. And he's on the medium tyre, which is going to be a little bit slower for the first few laps of the race. His Feber set to 111.110. Fastest lap of the race. But Ekam, yeah, struggling to stay with Mikau. T-Mac as well, dropping outside DRS of Pondon. Already starting to see a few groups break away. And Batemate down the inside, a combined YouTuber. And they're side by side. So coming up the hill, a little bit of a wobble there from the AlphaTauri. And he has to settle the 14th place. Couldn't quite get past him, but now they're going to go side by side through Casino. But no, get it all sorted. He's going to think about going for a move into Mirabeau, but no, a bit too far back to get the move done as well.
Yeah, this is a very hard track to overtake, so you can see they're just struggling. Even if you do have a little bit more pace, it's just,
it looked like Batemate was far enough to the outside. He got given the room by combined YouTuber into Centre Vod, but he just had terrible traction coming out of turn one and just didn't get the straight line speed he needed to clear the Ferrari coming up the hill to Casino. So, yeah, unfortunately for Batemate, but we'll keep an eye on him, see if he's got a run on him next time around. And that gap for the lead's already pulled out to 2 seconds. JKO dropping off the back of Big Al as well. 1 minute 40 seconds. 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 1 minute 40 se And, oh, there's a little mistake from the Ferrari. Thinks about going for a move down the inside. Not quite, but look at the Mercedes of CJM on Urban Sky to their side by side, and they're into the wall. The Aston Martin's gone into the wall, the final corner. That's definitely going to be some wing damage there for CJM, who's opened up the DRS on the Aston Martin. But he's dropped off a fair bit. I can't see any wing damage on the outside, but that's definitely going to have hurt him a little bit. Looks like the Aston Martin letting the Mercedes through there. And see if we can see anything on the Aston Martin there that could be damaged. Yeah, it looks like he's missing an end plate there, that Aston Martin, so he's going to have to come into the pits at the end of this lap.
I think we're going to start seeing people pit around lap 8 to lap 12. It just depends on how much they want to extend to go onto the mediums.
Yeah, we've got a yellow flag as well.
Oh.
Looks like Ponton may have had a little bit of a spin at swimming pool exit, and he's lost his entire front wing. But with Crush, he's had to cut the chicane, so is the Aston Martin of Eckham. They would have been getting the yellow flags and trying to avoid him as much as possible. Trina's coming to the pits as well on lap 3. I hope he hasn't picked up any damage either.
Oh, he goes one barrier.
He has, unfortunately. Jumping on board with Endocat and Eckham, and Endo has cleared Eckham. And this is what we mean. Got to keep it clean if possible. And Urban onto the hard tyres. I feel like that's going to be the game, put him on the wrong tyres, because the mediums can go a long way into this race. And
we saw a few with 34 laps, didn't we?
Yeah, no, the tyre wear, especially at night, is so much less. On the softs and the mediums, and that looked like Eckham going very deep there. I think he might have some damage. Hasn't pitted yet. Yeah, wheels up. Unfortunately, we can only choose to go to the TV camera. We don't actually get to decide what angle. He's still got no end plate there, Eckham. He's going to have to pick because he's going to lose so much time without his full wing. But yeah, if it was more like iRacing where we control the angles, that would be absolutely perfect. So hopefully that changes in the new game in just over a month's time. And he does come into the pits to get that wing repaired. So that lead has now gone out to 3 seconds. Bieber's really running away with it at the moment.
You guys are going to have to start defending from JKO soon. JKO's right on his tail.
Yeah, absolutely. 7/10 behind. See, Eckham also onto the hard tyres. So both of the Aston Martins on the hard tyre, and I don't think that's the right choice. Gonna have a look at Eckham come out of the pits, and he'll filter out just behind a combined YouTuber. Oh, you see those hards are so cold. He get a lot of wheel spin there coming out of the pits, and he does come out in front of his teammate.
I think if you're running daytime, they might be okay, but nighttime, you won't be able to get the tyres hot enough.
We're seeing gaps blowing out quite a bit already. I think there's only a couple of cars within DRS of each other now. But Hero, T-Mac and Mick out. A little battle group for P5 forming at the moment. And that's about it. Everyone else is blown out outside the DRS limit. So we'll keep an eye on this little group. JKO is back within DRS range of Big Al, who's still just within 3 seconds of Feber. So he's keeping Feber honest at least. If put a bit of pressure that if he makes a mistake, that could be Big Al back in front. Yeah, well, we keep an eye on this. Yeah, Fleddy T300RS is a good wheel for F1. I think we've had a few people use that as well. Yeah, we've got a big range pad users as well as Logitech, Thrustmaster as well, and Fanatec too.
It's really spread out now, hasn't it, Gus?
Yeah, it really has. What have we got? Trin is close behind CJM at the moment. CJM, oh, he's gone for a move. No, to the Nouvelle Chicane. Trin looks like he's a lot faster. As Potsy comes to the pits, he's the first of the leaders to trigger that undercut. Have to see where he comes out. And Mikau as well, coming in at the same time. Trin looks to go for a bit of a move on the Mercedes, but can't quite get the pace to make the move stick. And it looks like Potsy's going to come out in front of Trin, who moves up to P11 as Mikau filters in behind. Alright, Nova. See, Potsy's come out into a lot of clean air as well. So the nearest car is 3.5 seconds down the track. So this is what we were talking about before. If you don't come out in traffic when you go for the undercut, you can gain so much time and track position once everyone else pits, as long as you don't get a safety car. Potsy will be hoping for green flag running until everyone's coming to the pits. And look at that gap now. FIBA, I wonder if he's got a bit of an issue with the tyres, because he has dropped a second in the last couple of laps. So it's only 1.8 seconds now between FIBA and Big Al, and FIBA comes to the pit, so he is responding to that undercut. Big Al stays out, so Big Al will take the lead of the race as JKO comes into the pits as well. And Hero comes to the pits, so McLaren opting to both pit at the same time. Shouldn't get held up at all. Both Alpines opting to stay out, so running a 1-2 at the moment. And here we go. We're going to keep an eye on Crush, who's going to come out in front of FIBA. So this is what we're talking about. So FIBA's going to get traffic. FIBA is now in traffic, and this is going to be very beneficial for Big Al. If he can just find a couple of seconds in these next few laps over FIBA, he will pit and come out in front. So we're going to stick with FIBA here to see if he's able to clear Crush and see what are the two Alpines going to do.
Just got to be careful here. He doesn't want to push too hard and cause some damage to his car, otherwise he's pretty much in the mud.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've said that before. You don't want him to can have a bit of trouble. He's going around the outside of the tunnel, and I think there was a little bit of a lift there for Crush. And want to get too caught up in the leaders' battle. And Batemate as well. I mean, you can see Batemate's gained quite a bit of time on FIBA as Big Al has come into the pits. So has that bit of traffic slowed FIBA up enough for Big Al to jump him? I don't think he has. He's coming out of his pit bay now, but I think FIBA's still going to be in front. He's just come out in front of FIBA. Batemate's actually jumped him. Batemate obviously, yeah, started on those medium tyres. So we see the Haas there, side by side. Terrible offboard cameras. And it looks like Big Al stays in front of Potsy, but only just. So Potsy opting to pit a couple of laps earlier. And nearly paid off. He nearly jumped Big Al. And in fact, the gap now from Big Al to FIBA has grown to about 3.5 seconds now that Big Al's stuck behind Batemate. So I wonder if the plan here is going to be for Batemate to just hold this little train up, allowing Mikau to close back in as T-Mac comes into the pits now. He's got a yellow flag in Sector 2. It looks like Captain of Goals had a bit of a spin at the Nouvelle Chicane, and a couple of cars managed to get through without too much hassle.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. If Bate does happen to stay out in front, it might give him a decent advantage. But at the same time, if he's slower than everyone else, he'll be basically making everyone join back up again, and it's going to be harder for him to fight back and join back in the race after his pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see there, the gap now between FIBA and Batemate's blown out to 3.5 seconds. There's Batemate starting to attract a bit of a train behind him. Got Captain of Gold and Combined YouTuber coming side by side out of the pits, and a little bit of a wobble from Captain of Gold with the temperatures. Combined YouTuber doesn't quite have the pace to get past him, so go past Casino. And that's going to be it, unfortunately. Yeah, Combined not quite able to jump the Alfa Romeo there. Baitmate goes a little bit defensive against Big Al there. That gap to the lead is just blowing out more and more. Pondon comes into the pits again. Looks like he may have picked up a bit of wing damage. Yeah, he ends up coming out P16, sticking with this little battle pack here for P2. CJM also onto the hard tyre. Interesting choice, but I think he started on the medium as well, so probably didn't think the sauce will make it to the end. Here we go, Baitmate under a lot of pressure here. Trin,
how many people do you reckon we're going to see with penalties? Looks like everyone.
Yeah, everyone's kept it pretty clean so far. We're still not yet halfway through the race, so we've still got a few more laps to go before we get there. But yeah, we had a few in Tier 3 earlier this evening, and look at that. Big Al has a really good run on Baitmate here up the hill. And he's going to want to get past him quickly because Fever is a 5-second lead now. Something to look a bit further back as well. Trin. Looks like he's not quite got the pace. He's got Mikau all over him. And he's not quite closing up to this train for P2. So I don't know if he's got a little bit of damage or not. Or if he's just keeping Mikau behind. And that's costing him a bit of time.
Mikau's giving him a helping hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Pushing him down to Portier. Backed off a little bit as they go through the tunnel. And see Hero there as well, closing in. Jump back up, Baitmate. Oh, he's struggling for grip at the moment, Baitmate. He's got those tyres on for 12 laps, so still got a bit of time, but look at Big Al. I think this is close enough. He might be making a move here, going to centre Vod, and he is alongside, and he's got the move done. So Big Al moves back up into P2, but he's got a 7-second gap to Fever now, who is just absolutely storming away with this race.
Well, it looks like Fever might be coming up to lap traffic too, so
might slow him down a little bit. Yeah, as we see Baitmate trying to defend from Potsy, who's got JKO right behind him as well. As we see, there we go, first penalty of the evening. 3-second time penalty for Captain of Gold for exceeding track limits.
It's literally all about tyre strategy now.
Absolutely, and
set into their
keeping it out of the
areas
wall as well, so make sure that you keep it nice and clean and consistent. You'll see it only takes one person to have a momentary lapse of concentration, if I can say it properly, and end up in the wall and brings out a safety car, and suddenly that 7-second lead that Fever has disappears. So,
well, there's no ghosting on, so if there's a car parked across the track, there's nowhere to go.
Absolutely, and as we saw earlier, it doesn't even have to be a car actually there on track for you to crash into it. So,
yeah, that could be very unlucky.
Baitmate struggling to keep up with Big Al there. He's already dropped to second, and Potsy pushing Baitmate through Mirabeau. I don't know. Oh, a bit of contact there between JKO and Potsy. Potsy breaking a little bit early to avoid contact with Bait, and JKO get caught out by the slow-moving Haas.
Yeah.
Oh, and a big drift as well from JKO. Yeah, nearly dropped it into Portier, but managed to gather it together, but he's now lost out on Potsy.
Dropping back to Trin.
Yeah, Trin's closing in a little bit on JKO, but
Mikau's struggling a little bit to keep up with Trin.
Yeah, kind of ebbs and flows. Mikau's pretty consistently stayed within DRS, as we see. Baitmate there has made a bit of a mistake coming out of the final corner, and he's lost the position to Potsy, who goes through. Now Baitmate trying to stay with him. He's got JK just a little bit further behind.
Wonder how everyone's ERS management is going.
Absolutely. Looks like not too bad. The guys are following. Just going to jump further back. We've got Crush versus Artanis coming up the hill to Casino. Didn't quite catch Crush and Artanis there, but we saw Williams there get overtaken by the Ferrari. So well done to Crush. He moves into the points with that. Keeping an eye on Pondon as well. He's got a pretty decent run on Urban Skyther, who's on the hard tyre, and he's been on those for quite a while. Pondon going to have the pace advantage to get past the Aston Martin. Not quite, as Artanis picks up a 3-second time penalty, exceeding track limits. You can see Pondon go for a move into the Nouvelle chicane. You can see the ERS light flashing on the Aston Martin. He goes to the inside, and down the inside goes to Williams. They're still side by side, and the Aston Martin has to cut the chicane. And he's going to give that spot back. He had to cut the chicane in order to maintain that position. Oh, that's going to be looked at by the stewards for sure.
Yeah, I think so. You can't
You can't. Like, he was well down the inside. He had to be left space, and Urban decided to cut the chicane and maintain position. I think
Psycho, he's got a lap.
Psycho might want
to do it.
Yeah,
he's got a lap to get hands back. So if your hands are back,
this isn't handing it back though. He's defending the inside line. And look at that, they're battling into turn 1. So
yep, that's definitely not handing it back. That's for sure.
No, that's poor. And look at that, Captain of Goal all the way over the back of Pondon now.
Paul Williams, Pondon hits the wall, trying to overtake Urban Synther.
Yeah, that's not on there. If you leave the track to stay in front of another car, you have to give that place back immediately. And he had opportunity to do it. And I think Psycho will be definitely lodging that one with the stewards after the race.
Looks like Psycho's going to be a busy man next week.
Absolutely.
So what looks like we've got a group with Trin, Mikau, and Hero at the moment.
Yeah, Mikau a little bit closer behind Trin, and we've seen him a little bit before. That's I see Hero pushing Mikau through the corner too.
I think Mikau's just trying to finish the race. I think at this point he knows exactly where he's going to end up.
Yeah, he's on fresher tyres than Trin as well, so he might just be saving the tyres a little bit to have a bit more life towards the back end of the race. We are only just approaching the halfway mark, so plenty of time yet for the cars to make a mistake or Mikau to go for a move. But Hero so close to the back of... Yeah, oh, we're going to see a move here into the final corner. Oh, he's in the wall! He's in the wall! Hero goes straight into the wall there. And you can see Mikau covered it off. And Hero comes to the pits to get that wing replaced. And Mikau knew that Hero had a good run out of swimming pool there. And Mikau moved across to cover it off, and Hero had nowhere to go, went straight into the wall and broke his front wing. I don't know if that's going to be on Mikau, though. I think he's covered it. He hasn't moved in a dangerous way. And yeah, I think Hero's just gone for an optimistic dive, and it's cost
There's no way I was going to make that regardless. We've got an interesting development. We've got Jacko that's lost an end plate. So that's going to affect him quite badly, especially in 5th position.
Now, I'll bring up a replay of that one for Hero, and... Oh, no, what's that? That's sorry, that's Lance Troll hitting the wall and cutting a chicane. That's not the right replay at all. Let me bring up the right replay. And there we go. This is the right replay. Mikau here going through swimming pool. And you can see there, great run from Hero out of the... And yeah, just ran out of road there from Hero. So I'm sure it'll be looked at afterwards, but we'll see what happens with that one as Jayco does come into the pits to get that end plate repaired. Now, let's see. What's the gaps looking like? We've got CJM. They've got a battle of the hards going on for P13, 14, and 15's a little bit further behind. CJM quite close to the back of
Interesting to see
Eckham.
where Jake Harrow comes out. Jake Harrow comes out on 11th position. So that's going to be a good indicator for Bate, where Bate's going to be possibly finishing. I think if Bate was to pit now, it'd be around P8, P9. So he's the only one that still needs to pit, I believe.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well. He's got a 6-second gap to Trina, who's lost a bit of time having to defend from Mikau. You can see there, 6 seconds it's dropped to. And he's doing a great race. Let's have a look and see what the time to leader is. So pit stop's what, about 25 seconds at Monaco? So 38, yeah, so he'll be just behind Andercat at the moment, so he will be out of the points if he pits now, but he's doing a really good job at the moment. Oh, a bit of contact between Eckham and CJM going through the hairpin. Eckham opting to take quite a lot of curb. CJM took a wider line and he actually had a bit more speed as Captain of Gold picks up a 3-second penalty for exceeding.
It's hard to judge the braking markers. Like, you got your own set braking marker, you know where you're comfortable to brake, but then the person in front might be running a completely different setup and throw you right out. But at the end of the day, you got to drive to the driver in front of you, not to where your markers are.
Yeah, absolutely. See, CGM looks like he's just got so much more pace than Eckham at the moment, but he just can't get the exit. He needs to get past him, but this could be a little bit different. Running into turn 1. Oh, goes to move. Bit of contact. And they're going to be side by side coming up the hill. It's the Mercedes got it. Oh, a little bit of contact wheel to wheel. And CGM's got the move done. Eckham backs out. And CGM has finally got the move. As come on, YouTuber overtakes Captain of Gold, who's peeled off into the pits. So yeah, Trin really not able to stick with Batemate at the moment. He's doing a really good job at the moment. He's 1.7 seconds behind Potsy, so he's not dropped off that much at all from the leaders. But yeah, Fever 6 seconds clear of Big Al. Big Al 6.5 seconds clear of Potsy as Jack Aero sets the fastest up the race on those medium tyres, so he is P11 at the moment. The yellow flag got an Aston Martin at the Nouvelle Chicane. That's Eckham. Oh, and he's just come aboard. He's completely blocking the track. Is he going to stay out of the way? Oh, he does. Thankfully, Pondon... Oh, that was actually one of the leaders. I think that was... that might have been Big Al. Oh.
Yeah, it may have been.
He's in the
that
wall
was so
as well.
close.
He's weaving all over the track to stay out of the way. He's going to go through swimming pool. This is not a great place for Mikau to catch him, and that's a good job by Eckham to stay out of the way. So I think that was Batemate, sorry. But, yeah, Eckham make a bit of a mistake there. Well, he briefly had his full wing back, but no, not anymore. Thank you very much for the follow, Frosted Xeno. At the moment, oh, there we go. We've got an Aston Martin. I think that's... Might be Urban Scythe has come out of the pits as well, so not a great race at all from Aston Martin. Mikau just 3/10 behind Trin now.
I think we've got Big Al slowly catching Fever.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if people lost a bit of time there, having to negotiate the spun car, the spun Aston Martin out of Nouvelle Chicane. Got a yellow flag. Looks like it's just the lap car's going a bit slow through the tunnel, letting through the lead traffic. As T-Mac picks up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Moving further back, and Chakero has been able to get past Andercat in the tunnel. Nice little move there from the Alfa Romeo. He's up into the points, and he's looking absolutely rapid on those fresh medium tyres. See, he's... Oh, as Andercat hits the wall. I wonder if he's got some wing damage after that. That's a pretty hefty hit.
Still got his end plates by the looks of it.
Yeah, hit that hard though. You expect there to be some damage, and yeah, he does peel off into the pit. So he's been on those tyres for 14 laps, but you'd expect the mediums to go to the end from there. So I think he has picked up a bit of damage, if not that contact, and
You
maybe
front
some
wing.
earlier.
You front wing.
So jump up and have a look at Mikau again. He's so close to the back of Trent, and he doesn't have the pressure of Hero behind him now either. After that, he ended up in the wall in the final corner. Got a Ferrari there going very slow in the tunnel. Was that combined YouTuber, I think, being lapped? Yes. And we got crushed a couple of positions further back as well. There's Captain of Gold has snuck past combined YouTuber there. It's combined YouTuber has a spin at the Nouvelle Chicane. And I wonder, there's the Ferrari's head. Crush picked up a penalty there for, get out of the way. Oh, there's contact. There's contact. That's Artanis going into the side of combined YouTuber. And that's allowed Jake Herrera to gain a position there as well, I think. Was that Artanis? It was Artanis, wasn't it? I wouldn't be surprised if he's picked up some wing damage from that.
Yes, it must be a tennis.
Yeah, he's got some wing damage. He's very slow to the corner, and it was an Aston Martin. They're trying to unlap themselves and nearly ended up in the wall. And Artanis does peel off into the pits, which should allow Hero. It does. Gets Hero back into the points after his little incident with Mikau a bit earlier. And we go. A few mistakes starting to show themselves at the moment. Zanakat picks up 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits.
Mate's getting a decent lead on Trin. That's for sure.
Yeah, Trin under a lot of pressure from Mikau. I think he's trying to stay in front. Zanakat comes out of the pits. And P11 still clear of Artanis, who's just behind
T-Mac, which is catching Mikau quite quickly.
Yeah, this little paddle is really slowing Mikau down and is allowing T-Mac to close in. He's so much closer to Trin this time around. I just wonder if he might go for a lunge into centre Vod.
It's almost like the start-finish straight is just not quite long enough.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's very minimal areas where you can actually overtake around here. And very risky. So it's almost like, just I'll take my time. The driver in front might actually make a mistake. That's your time to pounce, basically. You just got to be on their tail, ready for when that happens.
We can see T-Mac there behind Mikau. That's how small the gap has gotten.
We've got 12 laps left to go.
Still following Mikau now. It's just 2.5 tenths down on Trin, who's flashing ERS indicator. Oh, there's a bit of contact between Trin and Mikau there. I think Trin kept it out of the wall, but
Mikau's giving a bit of a love tap.
Yeah, I think T-Mac's in DRS range now as well, so I don't think Trin would have liked that too much. It nearly ended up in the wall at St. Devot.
Well, if these two keep doing that, then not helping each other, that's for sure. Look at all the group behind them, they're all caught up now.
Yeah, got a couple of lap cars in that mix as well, but T-Mac is on the lead lap, immediately behind Mikau now.
Gonna see a move? Nope.
No, he's just a little bit too far back. I wonder if Trin is running a little bit lower rear downforce, as you mentioned earlier, because he is slower in the corners, and Mikau can't quite catch him on the straights even with DRS, so I wonder if Trin is a little bit slipperier in a straight line, which is why the gap's so narrow in the twisty sections, but on the straight, it's just not quite able to close that gap. And keep an eye on Jake Arrow as well. He's closed the gap up on Crush there for P9.
Not much is happening, is it now?
At the moment, we've got a couple of little battles at the moment with Trim Macau T-Mac. We've then got Crush and JKO, we've got Ando Cat and Tanis, CJM and Pondon, and Captain Golden Urban Skyther, but no one's really going for any moves. So here we go. As I say that, Crush has had a terrible exit out of Portier, and JKO goes past with those fresher medium tyres, gets a move done before the Nouvelle Chicane. He's up to P9 now. And look at this train for P5. Mika's gotta have a go. He's not using any of his ERS though. I wonder, Trin's running very low, so I think Mikau is just trying to drain the Haas's battery and then have an almighty push. JKO is already 2 seconds clear of Crush now. He's got that much more speed. And he'll be on the back of this train in no time. It's 3.5 seconds down the road, but showing so much pace at the moment. These tyres, these guys in front, starting to fade a little bit as we enter the final 10 laps. And here we go, Mikaz using his ERS now. He's a lot closer this time. Is he going to make a move? No, not this time. He did think about it. Definitely used the ERS compared to last time. The gap was quite a bit closer. T-Mac now really close behind the AlphaTauri. New blue flag starting to get shown as JKO now 2 seconds behind T-Mac. And there he is. He's got past the Aston Martin that was a lap down. Now there's JKO's teammate, Captain of Gold, who's just in front of him getting blue flags. And then he'll be right on T-Mac's gearbox as well. And then it's going to be a three-way battle for P6. P5, I should say. Four-way battle. Look down the field. Endocat's caught the back of Hero now for P10. And Tanis as well. And on Endocat's gearbox as well. So, a few little groups forming as Batemate finally pits. Now, where is he going to come out? Looks like he might be... who's that? It's a Ferrari of Crush. And there's a nice little gap between Crush and Hero. So, he should filter out in P9. And that's a really great result for Batemate, who's on the alternate strategy. Was briefly in the lead of the race, I think, and he is now in a lot of clean air on fresh soft tyres for the final few laps of the race. Now, is he going to be able to make any dividends with that? He's got Crush on 21 lap old medium tyres. JKO's looking rapid on the 11 lap old mediums, but everyone else in front of him over 20 laps on those mediums. So let's keep an eye on Batemate here. If he's able to get some clean overtakes done, we could be seeing him quite a bit up the field, and he doesn't have any penalties either with let's bring that up, 3 seconds to T-Mac, JKO and Crush. So Batemate could be pulling off the master strat here as Tanis also pits. JKO all over the back of T-Mac now. Coming to the final corner, got a yellow flag, but further behind is an Aston Martin around. Is that a... Yes, so you got Urban Skyther has had a spin coming out of swimming pool, and that was a cheeky reset to track, Mr. Aston Martin. That's not allowed at all. Stewards may look a bit more favourably given it's Monaco, but typically you have to make the mistake. You've got to pay for it by riding yourself correctly, but see what they say about that later on. Batemate all over the back of Crush now already. He's got so much speed on those soft tyres. But is he going to be able to be fast enough to get the move done? He's got to be patient here because he doesn't want to break a front wing, and that will basically give away any advantage he's got with those soft tyres. But he can see the rest of them just down the road as well. Is he going to have the pace? He's using overtake. Crush moves to the right-hand side of the track now. Oh, he's trying to block him on the inside. And no move there for Batemate. We've got a yellow flag in the final sector. Didn't quite see what that was for. Might have just been some traffic. Skyther and Ekem swap places, and Hero and Andercat swapping places as well going into the hairpin. We see a little bit of a switch back for the Mercedes, or a bit of contact between the Mercedes and the McLaren. Hero in front of Andercat once again, but he has a terrible exit and he loses the position as well. They're getting Fever as well as coming through here. Blue flags getting shown. Hopefully Mercedes notices now. We've got we've got Batemate making a move on Crush. We've also got Hero and Andercat. There's a Mercedes around. That's Andercat has had a spin coming out of the Nouvelle chicane. And
he's
I think
lost the end plate.
There was a slow Mercedes, slow Aston Martin as well. I think it might have just been blue flags, but things are starting to kick off a little bit. People getting a little bit tired, making a few mistakes. As Batemate has made it past Crush. He's up into P8 now, and he's closing in on this little train for P4. Now, Mikau's in that train as well. I would expect he would give up the position to help Batemate attack Trin, but he's got to get through first.
Yeah, it's showing even more difficult as the laps go by for Mikau to get past Trin. Trin's just got that straight line speed, unfortunately. And that may be the difference between 5th and 4th place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also giving Potty a bit of breathing room too.
And meanwhile in the lead, Fever 4.5 seconds clear of Big Al. He lost a bit of time there in that lapped traffic. Potsy 18 seconds behind Big Al, and Trin 15 seconds behind Potsy. But here is the battle for P4. They're all within DRS of each other, as I think that's a Mercedes of Andercat coming out of the pits after that spin at the Nouvelle chicane. But, change of places between Ekem and combined YouTuber. Ekem up into 17th place. And
looks
here
like
we go.
Jaco's pushing his way through by the looks of it.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Batemate chasing him through as well. It's going to be a bit of a concertina going into the hairpin, so Batemate moved out from behind T-Mac just in case he got checked up. Is he going to be able to make it through? There's 4.5 laps to go. He's going to want to get a hurry on. He's going to get these positions on track. He will get a couple of them on penalties alone. He's got a very clean Batemate. As Mikau looked like he had a bit of a scrappy exit from the Nouvelle chicane. Jacko looking like he wanted to get past. He's actually hit the wall. Jacko's hit the wall. And he's cut the chicane at Swim Pool. He's missed his end plate. So there we go. Jacko has lost his end plate, and that's basically his advantage on the fresh and medium tyres gone. And he's going to stay out because he's too close to the end of the race to really get any benefit from a fresh wing. But T-Mac and Batemate right behind are going to want to get past him because they will lose track of Mikau if they can't clear him quickly.
I think that's the second time Jaco's done that.
Yes, he did have to pit a bit earlier, and he's run wide at Casino. That's going to allow T-Mac through. Now, Batemate's going to want to get through as well, but he might just have to wait until they get down to Mirabeau. He's gone to the inside, and oh, that was, his whole wing's gone, and that's T-Mac in the wall and out of the race. Batemate's out as well. The Ferrari's got damage. Oh, what a shame, and that's a virtual safety car. Oh, what a shame for Batemate and T-Mac. It looked like JKO... He hit the back of T-Mac. I'm not sure there's a full safety car now. As we see, that's Hero coming into the pits. Fever is still on track.
That's unlucky for Batemate.
So unlucky. He was doing such a good job, and I don't know, we'll have to look at the replay again. T-Mac may have gone off on his own, but JKO definitely lost his entire front wing there on the back of the Alpine. And I'm not sure if that was before T-Mac ended up in the wall and out of the race, or if it was just as a result of the Alpine bouncing back onto the track. So we'll have a look at that one once the pit stops have settled down. And we'll have to see who else comes in there. So there goes Fever's advantage.
Stewards are going to have an interesting week ahead of them.
Absolutely. Now we're seeing a few people stay out. Now there's going to be those lap cars. We see Andercat there staying out. He may get his lap back. So they've unlapped themselves from some of the lead cars, but at the moment, Fever's at the hairpin. No, he's all the way down at the swimming pool and might not actually get their laps back at this point.
I think the first lot of lapped people, it's Pondon, I believe.
Yeah, we'll have a look at the gap to the leader. So Artanis, FIBA's lapped all the way up to P8. FIBA also staying out, so he's decided he's not going to pit. Big Al is in the pits, and he's on the soft tyre. Wow, okay. Mega play by Big Al here. Potsy as well is on the fresh soft tyre, but he's down at the Nouvelle Chicane, so Big Al should keep second place here. And that's going to mean FIBA's on 28 lap old tyres. We've got 3 laps left in this race, so I expect we'll have 2 laps of running at the end. I'm pretty sure that's hard-coded in the game. But Big Al is going to have so much more grip than FIBA, but FIBA's counting on the track position, keeping him in the lead of the race. Trin is also... Oh, no, he's peeling off into the pits, so he's onto the fresh softs. And Mikau is currently at the swimming pool, and he's stuck behind Combined YouTuber at the moment, but are they going to jump Trin? Now, Miko would absolutely love to get past it because he was losing so much time behind the Haas. And here we go. He's basically pushing Combined YouTuber along the straight. Is he going to get out in front of Trin?
Yes, he does.
He has. He's cleared him. He actually got in front of Combined YouTuber to make sure he stayed in front of Trin. Very clever there by Mikau. And Trin will be P5 as Jake Arrow has crashed out on the straight. Jake Arrow has binned it on the pit straight. That was like Jolyon Palmer back in 2016 when we had that wet race and he lost it on the painted line.
Or was he actually...
I don't know if he was in the pits. Did he maybe...
Or did he try to swerve to avoid someone coming out of the pits?
Maybe. Oh, maybe he hit someone coming out of the pits because you are meant to stay off that pit exit line if possible. Oh, wow. Okay, let's have a look at the replay we have of that incident down at Mirabeau. Wait a minute, are we back to green flag racing? We are. I didn't get a prompt saying the safety car was in.
Neither did I.
Okay, well, we'll look at that replay afterwards then. So, FIBA is 2 seconds clear of Big Al.
Maybe they knew that... I think because there was 2 laps remaining and they didn't regroup.
Yeah, no.
That's why.
Yeah, that's odd. I don't even think the safety car waited for FIBA. Bert Mylander just wanted to get straight around the pits.
Big Al's right behind.
Yeah, here we go. We're just following Big Al at the moment, so he's all over the back. Oh, he's actually got a Williams, a lapped car in the way. What is that Williams doing? That's Pondon. He's staying to the left, though, so Big Al will get through. And here we go. Through the Nouvelle Chicane. And, oh, he's so close. I don't know if he's going to have to pay us his over the sky that picks up a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits.
This is going to be the last lap he can do it, though.
Absolutely, so... Let's have a look. Oh, he's hit him. He's hit him. He's gone to the back of the McLaren. No damage done. And here we go. Big Al has got the pace. He's got the battery. Is he going to make a move into Centre-Font? He goes down the inside. That is too far back, but he's going to have a good run coming up the hill. We're going to stay with Big Al all the way here if he can get a look in on the McLaren. Oh, he's just 2.5 tenths. He's going to go for it in Mirabeau. He's so close. He's touching him again through Casino. Here we go. The FIBA goes to the inside and he covers him off. Well defended by FIBA. And you can see how much of a grip advantage Big Al has. You know, covers off the inside of the hairpin. He's actually got a bit of overlap there. He nearly snuck around the outside there, heading down to Portier.
He's just doing everything he can.
Oh, is he going to have a go into the Nouvelle Chicane? So he's only 3 tenths behind as they go through the tunnel. He's got such a grip advantage. Is he going to go for a big dive down the inside? Oh, the McLaren covers it off.
Oh, a bit of contact there again.
Absolutely. How's the traction going to be out of the chicane? Not good enough for Big Al to get a move. And here we go. Coming up to the last couple of corners.
Oh, we've got people on no fuel.
He's tapped him into the final corner. He's tapped him again. He's tapping Morseco to the back of the McLaren. Is he going to have a better exit? Oh, and there's someone to the wall. There's Williams to the wall. And Aston Martin's got caught up in that as well. And FIBA wins from Big Al. Potsy got caught up in that as a dead Aston Martin blocking the track on the pit straight. And Hero loses a couple of positions there. I think he might have been responsible for that crash. But Mikau, there's P4 at the moment. Good solid race from him, but unfortunate for his teammate who got caught up in a little incident. Mikau will come through the final couple of corners now, and he'll pick up P4. Trin unfortunately lost out there under the pit stops. and crush P6 there with a 3-second penalty.
Well, what a race, eh?
We still have Andercat and Captain of Gold doing some laps at the moment, but they should be wrapped up now. Let's have a look at that replay again. And a Mirabos we saw. Jake Arrow had a bit of wing damage, and that cost him a bit of time. Now, did T-Mac go off on his own? No, I think he got hit by the Alfa Romeo into the corner, and that caused both Batemate and T-Mac to retire. So I think the stewards will be looking at that after the race. And yeah, that's
what's happened is Bates gone up the back of Alpine, and a car's helped push and just basically took that last bit of corner out.
Yeah, but
I think the Alfa Romeo pushed him into the...
Yeah, the Alfa Romeo hit the Alpine into the wall, and then basically, yeah, Batemate's got nowhere to go, and he's gone straight into the back of the Alpine that was stationary, and they've both crashed out because of it. So that's very, very unfortunate, and I'm sure that'll be looked at afterwards. Yeah, that's crazy into the race. It was being a bit of a procession until that safety car came out. Congratulations to FIBA, a dominant display, but a good effort from Big Al to just mix up the strategy right at the end with the safety car to have one last crack at getting the win, but solid P2 and Potsy as well on the podium for Haas in a reserve role. So great work from him. Then we've got Mikau, Trin, Crush, CJM, Martanis, Hero, and Pondon rounding out the points. And we've got Ando Cat, Captain of Gold, Ekem, Combined YouTuber, and Urban Skyther, with JKO 16th, with Batemate and T-Mac not finishing. And we'll bring up the race director just in case anyone needs that. But we've run out of time anyway, so I won't show you the whole race director. You can get that yourself. Thank you very much, Mr. Spicer, for joining me for Tier 1. No worries. You got 10 minutes to jump down into your car for Tier 2, so I'll let you go. Thank you. I'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for watching.
And everyone, I will be continuing the commentary for Tier 2, which starts in about 10 minutes. We're just going to have a short break, and we will bring that to you in just a moment. So thank you for tuning in for Tier 1. We'll be back shortly. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for Tier 2 Aussie Formula Racing Season 8, Round 10 here at Monaco night. And we're just loading into the lobby now, so qualifying will be underway shortly. And here we go, bring up the screen for you. Gus Rules back to commentate here for Tier 2, and joining me this evening is T-Mac. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you going, Gus?
Very good, thank you, T-Mac. Better than you, I'm sure, after you got foot in the wall during Tier 1 just before.
Yeah, just a bit.
Well, good to have you tonight anyway in the commentary box. Thank you very much, Ali, for the greetings. Can you let T-Mac do a hot lap call? I might do that. We'll see how we go. Currently got no drivers on track, so given how long it's taking them to come out on the track, I wonder if it's going to be a wet race. It is Tier 2 after all.
Tier rain, tier rain.
Tier rain indeed.
Although last week they were the only tier to not have rain. Funnily enough.
That's right, yeah, everyone else had rain last week at Brazil, so... Was it Brazil we were at last week?
Definitely was not Brazil.
Yeah, I don't know. I just rock up to practice in quali and then I race, so... Alright, here we go. Dutchy is going to be out on track first, so once we come around to want to jump on board and do a bit of a hot lap commentary, T-Mac, if you're ready for it.
I'm ready.
Wonderful. Alright, well, we're on the out lap at the moment, so don't start commentating now. It's,
yes.
could be a bit slow.
Well, I might be ready physically, but definitely not mentally.
Okay, well that's alright. None of us expect you to be in any situation, so that's fine.
I'm not even going to comment on that.
I joke, of course, T-Mac. You're a wonderful human being.
I think you're lying. You don't know what I've done. Anyway.
Ali, I legitimately don't know what our last track was. I cannot remember last weekend, so...
Didn't you, never mind.
You were going to make a shot, weren't you?
Yeah. I was going to say, didn't you rejoin Dangerously, but that was like 3 seasons ago.
Well, I didn't rejoin Dangerously. I forced someone off the track who then rejoined Dangerously into the side of me. So that was a long time ago. And
whatever makes you feel better.
That's right. We'll talk about it over a shrimp on the barbie. All right, take it away, Dutchy. Hot lap around Monaco.
Alrighty, Dutchy coming down to turn 1 or Saint Devant, braking just before the 50, cuts it very nicely, coming up the hill, up Beau Rivage. Make sure to avoid all the walls into the moving left-hander of Massenet and down into Casino, hits all those apexes quite nicely, making sure right up against the wall there into Mirabeau, 18.5 first sec. That's actually not too bad as he comes into the newly named Grand Hotel Hairpin. As he comes back down the hill onto the marina through Portier. A little bit of understeer, actually quite a lot of understeer, almost into the wall as he enters the tunnel. As he comes and makes his way all the way through into the Novelle chicane, breaking around the 100. Cuts it very nicely. You can tell this man's done his practice this week. As he comes up through to back and finishing at sector 2, 52.2. I have no idea if that's good or not. As he comes through the swimming pool chicane into La Rascaz. Oh god, he's almost smacked the wall there, and a bit squirrely on the exit. Through Anthony Noakes, actually keeps it quite planted through there, coming to the line. A 10.5, I think his last sector let him down there a bit.
Beautifully articulated, T-Mac. Thank you for that.
Let's go.
Jump on board with T-Mac. Oh, not T-Mac.
Yep, on board with me.
On board with T-Mac again. He's not done well in Tier 1. He's going to come down to Tier 2 and have a go as well.
Yeah, I'm actually sneaking in disguise.
Skins comes to the final corner, opens up the DRS, and he'll come across the line. It's 1 minute 10.2, so nice lap there from Skins in the McLaren. We'll jump aboard with Cuckoo Cowboy in the Red Bull. They had no Red Bulls at all in Tier 1 a little bit earlier, so they'll be hoping to get some more points here for the combined constructors. Just be looking a little bit sketchy now. T-Mac, I believe that you've done the numbers on the championship tonight, and you believe that Sneaky can pick up the championship.
Yeah, if my math is right, and it might not be, he has a few people that he has to beat, as there's still 6 people that can theoretically win the championship. All Sneaky has to do is win, and he's obviously got the championship. Forehead can still be in it if he beats Sneaky. That's the only status for him. Dalek in third. He needs to beat Sneaky, and Sneaky needs to get P3 or worse. So if Sneaky gets P2 and Dalek gets P1, Sneaky wins the championship. And then Zay in fourth. Basically, Sneaky just needs to get P7 if Zay wins. And then Psycho and Spicer need a Sneaky retirement for every single race of the season.
That sounds, sounds a bit far-fetched, but
yeah.
You never know. It is Monaco, and then we've got Singapore next week, so it's entirely possible. And then Spa, I think, the final round of the season, so...
Yeah, Austria in between.
Oh, Austria as well. Well, Austria can be tricky, so...
Yeah.
You never
Anything
know.
can happen.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We saw Ando last season in Tier 2 come back from an almighty points deficit.
That's right. Pepsi, I remember Abs in that quite appropriately bottled it as
I was going to make a joke about that.
Sorry, I beat you to it. But yeah, Pepsi well and truly bottled the Tier 2 championship last year, or last season. Because yeah, he was absolutely storming away with it, and Andocat came from nowhere to clinch it in the last race. So
yeah,
both racing in Tier 1 this season. Unfortunately, Pepsi had an issue with his computer this week and was unable to race. So see him back next weekend. We see Dalek on the medium tyre, comes across the line and set to 1 minute 10.4 on the medium tyre. So that's a pretty good time.
Really competitive. Yeah, that's the delta between the medium and the softs are roughly 5 or 6 tenths. So definitely puts him up there for sure.
Yep, now on board with Apex, not to be confused with Apex from Tier 3 earlier this evening. So Apex in Tier 3 was formerly known as only F1. And this is a new Apex that has jumped on board to do some reserving for Mercedes. So welcome to him, and yeah, hopefully it's a good first outing. It's a tough track to start with in AFR, so there's a bit of a lock up there into the second last corner.
Yeah, it's not been the worst lap for him, actually. Oh my god!
Nearly killed the Alpha Tauri. Just came out of the pits. I think, was that Mr. Spice? No, that was Psycho. Psycho nearly just died. Oh, that was so close.
That was my biggest fear in Tier 1, actually. I was, every time I went out of the pits, I was just scared that someone would do that to me. And every time I went past the pits, I was making sure if there was someone coming out, I was well clear of that. But
well, we were talking about that at Tier 1 because there was an Aston Martin that crashed on the pit straight within a couple of laps. It was under safety car, I think. And we suspect that someone may have come out of the pits and they were hugging the pit wall and have crashed into the back of them and then end up in the pit wall. But yeah, it's quite an odd... You do get fed out right onto the racing line here at Monaco, so it's a bit sketchy. They do, I think in real life, they've got a big sign that flashes when there's a car coming out of the pits. I don't think they have that in the game, which probably they should think about adding in for the next one.
I mean, I don't think people would particularly watch a sign because...
No, but at least you get some sort of warning, just in case.
Yeah.
Oh, a bit deep into Nouvelle Chicane from Valhalla and the Ferrari. The only driver yet to set a time, and going very conservatively. It's Tabak. Is it left-hander Tabak?
Yeah, the fast left is
Tabak. I couldn't remember all the way through Tier 1. It's just come back to me. So it's Tabak is the fast left-hander. And very conservative is Valhalla. I suspect it's Valhalla on pad. Just the inputs look very jerky.
Yeah.
The Red Bull nearly died as well. So it's a 113.435.
Oh, Smitty, he's 6 tenths up on his time, and he could get a pole time in here. He's of course he's on fraud watch. Demoted from Tier 1 last season. He's had a terrible season. He's salvaged a P2 last week, but not a good season other than that. But as he comes to the line, this could be a P1 provisionally, and it is 9.6.
109.69, nice. Sneaky set to 109.62.
Oh wow!
Nice from Sneaky there on the soft tyre as well. A jump over with Psycho, who we nearly saw get murdered when he came out of the pits. He's coming out of the Nouvelle Chicane at the moment.
And it looks... I think he might have backed out, yeah.
And he certainly has, so Psycho is... We'll stay on board with him, we'll follow him for the next lap around. Looks like he's got plenty of fuel in the tank.
Yeah, you get put out with so much fuel this track.
Yeah, absolutely, and you don't really lose much speed because there are so many slow corners here at Monaco. Having that little bit extra in the tank doesn't really hurt you that much. I see Psycho coming up the hill was Massenet. And a bit of understeer there. Oh, he's turned it a little bit early. He saw a couple of stabs through Casino as he comes into Mirabeau.
Although that does match Smitty's first sector time.
Yeah, he didn't lock up at all through Mirabeau. That's really nice to know. It doesn't take much curb though at the hairpin. And coming down to Portier, he short just up to third, but he still loses the rear. He needed to control the traction a little bit more. That's going to hurt him all the way through the tunnel down to the Nouvelle Chicane. Bit of a lock up, takes a lot of curb, doesn't invalidate, but runs a little bit too deep. And we've got a yellow flag in the tunnel.
Just spice the whole, letting people go.
Cycle through to back and swimming pool. Looking very committed, using almost all the road available. And nicely through the second last corner into the final one. He kind of turned a little bit too early and he lost the rear as well. Oh, and traction as well. He's absolutely bottled it. And he is not going to set a representative time with this lap, and he's going to have to limp back to the pits to get a new wing.
Just past the pit entry. Got damaged, so.
Absolutely. Now we're going to jump on board with Dalek, who's on an outlap at the moment in the Haas. So just come out of the Nouvelle Chicane. He'll be building up for a lap as he goes through to back. You know, 6.5 minutes left in the session, so still plenty of time for our drivers to improve.
Yep. And it's worth pointing out, Tier 3 pole was a 9.5, I believe.
Wow, okay.
But P2 was a 9.9, and then P3 was a 10.1, so overall Tier 2 guys are doing a bit better.
We do have Cooper Cowboy and Valhalla not yet really setting a representative time, sitting around the 1 minute 13 mark, so they've got a little bit of work to do to find a bit more time. Dalek, nearly 2 tenths up on his time, so a good start to the lap from the Haas driver. A few yellow cards popping up as people getting out of the way of hot lappers. Doesn't take much curb though, Dalek, so a bit of time to find there at the hairpin. Nicely controlled through not Mirabeau, Portier, is that one? Nah. Yeah, controlled the track nicely compared to Psycho, who really struggled with the rears. I wonder if Psycho actually overheated his rears on his outlap.
Yeah, maybe.
Nicely through the Nouvelle Chicane and through to back as well for Dalek. Keeps it absolutely flat. And there you go, purple in the second sector. So this is looking like a great lap, but he did feather the throttle a little bit over the second part of the swimming pool chicane, and that may just hurt his third sector time, but turning in nicely, just one flick of the wheel, and he turned it into the final corner, and he comes across the line 9.421. A great lap from Dalek there.
For his championship hopes, what little there are left, he definitely needed that.
Absolutely, no, mega lap there from Dalek. We wait for Sneaky to respond. He's still in the pits at the moment, waiting for the track to evolve a little bit more as we tick over the 5-minute mark of this qualifying session for the final race here in Aussie Formula Racing at Monaco.
Do you know what I'm quite surprised about here, guys?
What's that?
There's no retirements yet. Usually, I don't know, but Monza and just generally Tier 2 have quite a few retirements, especially in quali, but no one have one of the worst, one of the hardest, most grueling tracks has decided to put it in the wall hard enough to.
Absolutely. Well, we had in Tier 3, I think it was Tier 3. Tier 1, sorry, we had the first retirement as Smitty's definitely cooked the rear tyres. He is fishtailing out of the final corner. We had retirement of CJM, I believe, crashing into a ghosted McLaren, so you never know, anything can happen at Monaco. But Smitty there, we noticed we're on board for that lap, and he had to back out of the throttle to back quite a bit because he was going to end up in the wall. And then, yeah, we saw he lost the rear a couple of times in that lap, so I think his rears are definitely overheated. Sneaky's still in the pits. We've got 3 minutes and 50 seconds left, so we're going to jump on board with Dutchy, the Alfa Romeo, again as he's about to cross the line, a couple of tenths up. There we go, improves by 1.8 tenths, and he's up into P6 with a 1 minute 10.056. Now, it's just him and Smitty on laps at the moment. Now, everyone else is either in the pits or on an outlap, so the track is going to get very, very busy. It's only a short qualifying format in Tier 2, so everyone will be out and about getting those laps done as quickly as they can. 3 minutes 20 to go, and A lot of people still in the pits. They've got to spread out to do this
Like-
final run. I am cutting it a bit fine, some of the guys who are still only just coming out of the garage.
Yeah. I've just witnessed Smitty just careen into the pit wall. I
I was wondering what was going on with Smitty. Went straight into the pits. So yeah, interesting. Soundball with Dutchy to finish off this lap, and then once he's available, I think we might jump on board. Oh, Dutchy's dead!
Oh no!
He's died coming out of the swimming pool there. Just got a little bit too eager on the throttle, and coming out of the swimming pool, he has absolutely yeeted that left tire off the front of his car. We'll have a look at that again. It actually looked pretty good. He was doing an all right job. Came through to back in the sector split. He was about a 10th down, but I think he was pushing a bit too hard to make up that 10th. He just took too much curb in the second part of swimming pool and obliterated the suspension in his front left tyre against the outside wall. And Sneaky has picked up a 5-place grid penalty for blocking.
No.
So he's on an outlap. He's got a Ferrari behind him. Was that Valhalla? No, not Valhalla. That was Saxa. But he was on an outlap. So that's a very unfortunate penalty that he's picked up for the game there. 5-place grid penalty for blocking a car that was also on an outlap. So, slow clap for Codemasters.
Yeah, that's not what he needed, but
Oh, yeah,
maybe we might be able to see a few overtakes in the race now.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he's nearly actually blocked Valhalla there as well through the tunnel. So, oh dear, that was that. I think probably the 5-place grid penalty works now, given he probably impeded the Ferrari there. So we've got a minute 30 left in the session, so there's a couple of cars still in the pits. We've got Skins, Vasa, and Dutchy, of course, who's crashed out. So I don't know if we'll be seeing those guys come out to do another lap.
No, I think they're done.
All right, well, jumping on board with Sneaky, who's winding up, and he's on the pit straight to start what will be his final lap of qualifying in the Red Bull. Ooh, the rear bit loose through the exit of Saint-Devote. He climbs up the hill. Oh, flicks it in to Massenet and then across into Casino. Oh, such precision from Sneaky here. Comes to Mirabeau's purple in the first sector, up by 15 thousandths of a second. Ran a little bit deep though. Had to wait and wait and wait for the understeer. Takes a little bit of curb there at the hairpin and just kisses the curb on the run down to Portier as well. But he's so good in the traction coming out of there and into the tunnel. You get a little bit of a toe here from the Ferrari in front. Nice little timed run he's got here. Comes into Nouvelle Chicane, breaking the 100-meter board, flicks it across the curb. Look how precise he is with that, using every millimeter he's got. But he had a bit of wheel spin coming out of Nouvelle Chicane. It's going to hurt him. Now he's in Portier, and he's going to be getting the dirty air of the Ferrari now all through this section. And I think the Ferrari, I hope they're on a lap, because it's going to be costing the Red Bull so much time, and he's been blocked by Valhalla.
Oh, no.
And Valhalla...
Is there time?
There's no time. He crossed the line. There was a minute 10 left before he crossed the line, so he is done.
No.
That's the checkered flag. And Valhalla, I think, was getting ready to start a lap. Valhalla's got the green flag, and now he gets out of the way of Sneaky. So I think Valhalla's going to be in a bit of trouble for that one. That was very, very sloppy, and Sneaky stays P2. We're going to have a look. We've got an Aston Martin about to come across the line. That's forehead. Currently 2.5 tenths up, but he's binned it. I think he made a mistake in the final sector, and he does not improve.
Smitty's 2 tenths up.
Gonna have a look at Mr. Spice will be next across the line, and then I think we've got another Red Bull, but I think Mr. Spicer's got a... No, that's just a bug with the game. Mr. Spicer does not improve. We've got another Red Bull as well. It's Kufu Cowboy. He's going to come across the line. Does not improve.
Smitty get pole.
Smitty does not get pole. 109.488. And I think who we've got the other Haas of Daleks about to come across the line. He's up by 1.5 tenths, so he's going to improve here if he could just keep the final sector together. And does improve by about 0.5 tenth, the 109.355. And we've got Valhalla as the only driver who needs to take the checker flag. And oh, there's a busted tyre there at the exit of the swimming pool chicane. I think that's Dutchy's wheel. I think it's still sitting there on the track. But that was so disappointing for Sneaky. He was up. He could have been on pole, but he got blocked by the Ferrari, who comes across in P16, a second off the back of Kufu Cowboy, and he's about 3 seconds off pole. So very disappointing to see that kind of impeding happening.
Yeah.
But we also don't know. Valhalla could have legitimately been on the lap, and Sneaky may have just not left enough space between him and the Ferrari. So don't want to get onto the Valhalla hate train just yet.
It was a good quali. One of the best I've seen from Tier 2 so far.
Yeah, very tight. Very tight.
Yeah. And across the board quicker than Tier 3. I know Seb's in Tier 3, but he's very quick, and a few people beat him here, so it was good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sneaky also, just to rub salt in the wounds, does have a 5-place grid penalty for impeding a car also on an outlap, so thanks to Cody's for that. We have Dalek on pole with 109.355, followed by Smitty and Sneaky. And then have Mr. Spicer setting in a pretty solid 109.942, just 0.05 of a second quicker than Psycho and P5. So the AlphaTauri is showing quite a bit of pace there and good consistency between them. Combat Wrap P6 at 110.016, a thousandth of a second quicker than Forehead. And not too far ahead of both Mika and Dutchy, who are separated by 0.04 of a second in P8 and P9. Then have 500s back. We've got Saxa and P10 and a couple hundreds behind him. Skins as well for McLaren. And I talked too slowly and couldn't go through the rest of the people in the grid, but we'll address that on the formation lap.
Yeah.
What are your predictions here, T-Mac?
Heroics into Saint Devant.
Wonderful, we love to see it.
Also, I just want to point out, 5th to 11th there was not even 0.2 the gap, so...
Yeah, crazy close.
Maybe one corner and one better corner from Skins and he starts 5th, but he's back in 11th.
Absolutely. Now we're just waiting for the players to select their strategy. I wonder if I can see the grid from here. I can see the grid from here. Okay, we've got... yes, Saxa Skins, then we had Vasa, Basink, Apex, Kufa Cowboy, and Valhalla rounding out the grid. So we will have Sneaky, I think, starting about P8 with that 5-place grid penalty, which is very unfortunate for him, but hopefully he's able to fight his way up through the field, but he will be absolutely ropeable once having to start in the midfield of, well, one of the most difficult races to overtake.
Yeah, and that's definitely not an understatement. Even with a bit of wing damage, you just can't get past the person in front unless they really make a mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. So the straight's just too short to be able to pick up some positions, unless you've got a significant advantage. Now let's have a look at the tyre strategy. So everyone in the top 10 is obviously starting on the softs, but almost everyone outside the top 10 opting to start on the mediums, with only Kufu Cowboy starting on the softs. Now, we saw Batemate nearly pull off an amazing strategy in Tier 1 just before, where he started on the mediums and was looking like he might actually end up in the top 5 on the ultimate strategy. Unfortunately, he got caught up in an incident with, well, T-Mac, my fellow commentator here, after you ended up in the wall in questionable circumstances, but we'll not dwell on that too much. So be interested to see if those guys are able to have the same kind of success he did. But it is one of those races where you just want to worry about your own race and stay out of the wall before worrying about what everyone else is doing. Now we have had a request, T-Mac, for you to call the start of the race. So are you on board with doing that?
Yeah. So I called. Ali had the exact same request last week, and I called the start. Not even 20 meters into the start, someone binned it into the wall and retired. So.
Well, how far is Saint Devant from the start-finish line? It can't be that far, can it? 100 meters?
Not even 150, I think. I think the 150 board's right on the finish line.
Yeah. Well, no, you can have the honours. Once we form up on the grid, you can do the canaway of that. No, that's perfectly fine by me. It's always difficult to do back-to-back commentary gigs, so I'm more than happy for you to do a bit of the talking ahead of me. That's perfectly fine. Drivers just coming into the final sector now, so we should be underway in a moment. I'm going to bring up the... what are we looking for? I pressed the wrong button, that's why. That one is what I want once we get underway, so show the position changes, and everyone kept pretty close together. We saw in Tier 1 that there were a few groups breaking away on the formation lap, but everyone's done a nice job at staying close, so we'll let's form up on the grid now. There's a Ferrari taking the final spot on the grid. We've got green flags waving.
Alrighty.
And here we go.
The lights are coming on. 5 lights. Oh, Smitty's going to jump the start. Away he goes. As everyone else behind actually complies with the rules. Oh my god, they're 3 wide in turn 1. This will never work. Yep, there's been contact. And a spin from a McLaren. Oh my god. Bit of a spin up back, but Smitty takes the lead. Dalek in second. Spicer third, Forehead fourth, Sneaky fifth, Psycho 6th, Dutchy 7th, Sax 8th, Mika 9th. I think everyone behind got a bit caught up in a turn 1 incident.
Yeah, and Smitty, he jumped about 2 seconds ahead of everyone else. So you can see there, he's got a 1.7 second lead over Dalek. Oh, Smitty. Well, we'll see what happens. We got a yellow flag in sector 2. Looks like it's just going to be usual hairpin shenanigans. Combat Rat was the McLaren who spun at turn 1. He's dropped 11 places, down in 16th now.
There was a massive Constantina effect as well. I think Gins might have hit someone. I'm not sure if he has damage, but I think the Haas of Basing definitely hit someone quite hard.
We've got a Haas there of Basing now that you mentioned. He's very slow through the Nouvelle Chicane. Yeah. He's lost the position to Apex as well. And I think you're right. I think, oh, he's got the Red Bull Akufa Cowboy. Just slapped the wallet to back very hard. He's lost his right end plate. And I think we'll be seeing him come into the pits at the end of this lap. And he has cut the swimming pool chicane as well. Yeah, we see Basing pulling to the pits.
Look at Dutchy. Side by side with Psycho. Oh, Psycho hit the wall.
Still got both end plates, so I think he'll be okay.
Yeah. Maybe Lime at worst, but still Lime around this track is extremely painful. But Smitty's actually found a lot of race pace here. He's not going to be able to exactly use it with the drive-through. He's actually pulled a second on Dalek since lap 1. Alrighty.
Yeah, so gap's starting to open up a little bit.
Well, look at this battle for third, Spicer, Forehead, and Sneaky. Sneaky's actually in 5th from 8th off the start.
Yeah, really great start from him after that penalty. And Smitty sets the fastest lap of the race with a yellow flag, got a Ferrari around. Valhalla's had a bit of a spin and he's reset to track as well coming out of the swimming pool. He's missing his front wing, so yeah, Valhalla obviously needs to learn the rules a little bit if he wants to race in AFR, not allowed to reset to track. There we go. Having a look at this battle for P3, as you said, Forehead all over the back of Mr. Spicer now. As Combat Rat comes to the pits as well, I wonder if he had a little bit of wing damage too.
Yeah, maybe off the start, trying to see it out, but obviously it's too much. Wow, look at Psycho's train. Oh, how many is that? 7th all the way down to 12th. All very close to each other. As we descend into nothingness.
We just saw the Williams die behind him.
Oh dear!
Mika has died coming out of the chicane, and is that going to be a safety car?
Codemasters strikes again.
That looked like it should have been a safety car. If anything was going to be one, that would. Sneaky Smitty into the pits to serve that drive-through penalty for going off the start. And we're not seeing a safety car at all. You can see there the Williams absolutely blocking the road there as Spacing goes past. Now we've got that. Yeah, got that. It's just cleared. We got that instant replay, and it all looked pretty okay. So we had Mika there, P9, just behind Saxa. Came out of the Nouvelle Chicane, and just caught it. We went to Saxa's offboard, and it just looked like the Williams got on the throttle and just had no rear grip at all, and just went straight into the wall. Yeah.
I was about to say, this race descends into a bit of nothingness for the foreseeable future. But yeah, but it is quite a shame that the safety car just refuses to come out here unless it's a big incident. Well, bigger than that.
Yeah, that has been multi-car apparently for it to trigger.
Smitty might not be out of it. He showed really good pace for those 3 laps that he was actually out in front.
Yeah, he's P10 at the moment, just behind Vasa, so still plenty of opportunities in this race. Ali in the chat, only Team Mac can bring the safety car out.
Okay, well it wasn't... I did crash, but it wasn't my fault. I had to just, yeah. I called the safety car in my race, you know. We need a bit of manipulation out here. Call me Lewis Hamilton. Look at this. I was going to say the Mr. Spice is holding up a bit of a train, but he's actually in the DRS of Dalek here.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's done a good job to get back in range of Dalek. His basic sets the fast lap of the race, so 1 minute 12.4 on the medium tyre.
As I say that, Spicer must have made a bit of a mistake at the exit of Portier because he's 1.3 behind and Forehead's right up his gearbox now. And although it is quite difficult to overtake here in Monaco, if you can get within about 2.5 tenths at the end of the last corner, you can, if you use everything, you can almost mount a challenge into turn 1. But definitely not close enough this lap.
Yeah, now Spicer in those sectors alone has already dropped well out of DRS range, 1.8 seconds.
Oh,
so
maybe he picked up some damage.
I wonder if that's the case. Dutchy pulls into the pits, lap 6, so pretty early, but he's got a wing damage as well, so unfortunately there for the Alfa Romeo. And just looking at the offboard, yeah, look, he's 2.2 seconds behind Dalek now, and he's vulnerable to Forehead. He's looking at the inside into right-handed there, but thinks better of it.
Fully calling a Smitty win.
You never know, you never know.
Yeah.
It's a long way to go in this
race.
race.
The Psycho Train's looking quite strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Down to Dutchy, you just pit, so it's pretty close. I reckon we see Mr. Spicer go through to back here, and he will have to get right out of the throttle. And let's see, down to 5th. It's not too bad. Yeah. I wonder if it might be the right hand as he's struggling with a yellow flag.
Oh,
Sneaky's out! Sneaky is out!
We were looking at the wrong one in the train.
Oh yeah, he's had a big moment in swimming pool, and he is out. Hopefully everyone's made it through without any problem. But yeah, Sneaky is down and out.
This means the championship lives on to another race.
Here we go, it's all looking up for Psycho now. He's in P4.
Smitty pits for the mediums here, I assume.
And possibly Dutchy pitted for the mediums as well last lap. And I think Smitty might actually... Or is Smitty going to get out in front of Dutchy? Dutchy comes through the final corner now. I think it's going to be close, but I think Dutchy will be in front.
Yeah, but it is worth pointing out the undercut is actually quite big here. The mediums are quite a good race tyre, especially for the first couple of laps. But pitting early does mean the tyres die at the end.
I think Forehead should be thinking about pitting here. If Mr. Spicer doesn't come in, he's losing too much time, getting stuck behind him, and I think he does have some wing damage. It's going to be so much better for Forehead's race if he just pits, gets out of the traffic, and then that way he should be able to get Mr. Spicer with the undercut.
Yeah, absolutely. He slots into a nice patch of clean air as well, just in front of Dutchy, so if he does pit.
And Mr. Spicer is staying out. Forehead also staying out. I think that's the wrong call there from Aston Martin pit wall, unless he can get Mr. Spicer here on his straight, but he's already 3.3 seconds behind Dalek. They were within DRS range before, and Mr. Spicer does slot him behind.
Oh, but he hits the wall.
Forehead's hit the wall. Has he got wing damage? I think he might have an end plate. No, he's... Can't quite see from these angles. It looks like he's got both his end plates, but he definitely hit the wall hard there, and I think he's going to have probably the same amount of damage as Mr. Spicer behind. Having a look at Saxa and Psycho going at it, just a couple of tenths between them now.
Yeah, Psycho's dropped 10 seconds in 8 laps. Maybe he also has a bit of wing damage here.
Yeah, the AlphaTauri is definitely struggling at the moment, moving backwards as Basing comes into the pits again. Looks like he might have picked up some more damage.
That is unfortunate for him. But now look at Mr. Spicer just dropping off of Forehead. So if Forehead did pick up any damage at turn 1, it was definitely nothing compared to Spicer's damage here.
Yeah, Psycho really struggling at the moment. 8.9 second gap to Mr. Spicer.
Oh, he hits a wall there. Again. Does he call it into the pits? He does.
Okay, so Psycho drops down to P8. We've got a front wing getting replaced. I think so. Yeah, front wing getting put on Psycho's car. So well observed there, T-Mac.
And he falls all the way behind, well, multiple seconds behind Smitty here. That's actually a really rapid lap here from Smitty, 11.2.
Yeah, absolutely. And Psycho's come out behind Dutchy and Smitty, who both pit with wing damage earlier in the race. So we got a yellow flag as well. Kufu Cowboy has had a bit of a... He's doing an Austin Powers now after the swimming pool, and he's completely lost his front wing.
He just full throttled into the wall to lose all of his wing.
And he's about to be overtaken by Valhalla and Basink, who are coming through the final couple of corners now.
That's unfortunate for Kufu Cow. He might go a lap. In fact, he will go a lap down. That's by lap 9. That is unfortunate for him. Absolutely.
And one of our keen fans has asked in the chat, hashtag Ask TMac, are you sad?
That's my answer.
Say no more. We get a yellow flag with the Haas of Basink, because he's lost his front wing over that bump between Casino and I've forgotten this one. Mirabeau. Yes, Mirabeau.
I thought that might have been Dalek for a second there.
No, that would have been terrible. He's just come through the same section as well, so he'll be lapping his teammate already. And we have lost Sneaky and Mika in this race so far. Smitty all over the back of Dutchy now. He's closed right up the back of the Alfa Romeo. Just a 2/10 gap at the moment. He might actually have a look at him into Mirabeau. Oh, look at that tank slapper coming out of Casino from Smitty. He is absolutely rapid at the moment, and I don't think he's going to be too long before he has a go getting past Dutchy.
Maybe into the Novell chicane here.
Possibly. He's got a bit of energy saved up, but so is Dutchy.
Unless he goes for an absolute send, he's definitely too far back.
I wouldn't put it past Smitty. Jump the start as well.
Pfizer comes into the pits. And does it look like there's a wing?
No wing damage for Spicer, so I wonder if he just made a mistake, maybe cooked the tyres a little bit. There we go, we see that's Basink in the foreground. Now, Spicer is going to come out into a nice little pocket of air just in front of Dutchy. Oh, actually, it's going to be a little bit closer than that. Let's have a look.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's actually lost out to Dutchy and Smitty.
I think Smitty's just tapped the wall. I don't want to say it's damaged because it was quite light, but...
There's a bit of traffic there as well. A quarter Basink could just come out of the pits as well to get that wing put back on his car because it definitely wasn't there to be replaced. Yeah, Smitty still sticking with Dutchy, so it doesn't look like he's missing an end plate, but as we know, there could be lime green damage that doesn't show externally on the car.
It does look like he's struggling a little bit more than he was.
He's cooked his rear tyres, I think. Looking at it, he's definitely getting a bit fishtaily out of most of the corners.
For sure. As our leader, Dalek, pits.
Here we go. So Forehead is staying out, so he takes the lead of the race. It's just himself and Saxa still out on the soft tyres they started the race on.
Oh, and Saxa pits.
Saxa as well. So yeah, Forehead, only driver yet to pit off those soft tyres.
Dalek comes out right next to the Alpine and also Apex. Oh dear, he's stuck behind all these medium runners now.
Here we go. We're going to see a little bit of a move. We've got a yellow flag. It's just a blue flag car staying out of the way. And Dalek stays in front of Apex, who's been on those mediums for 11 laps now. Apparently Smitty is damaged, so that contact with the wall you saw out of turn 1, he does have a bit of damage, and looking at his time, he is closed up to Dutchy, but he definitely doesn't seem to be as fast as he did when he was putting in those fastest lap times just a moment ago. He and Dalek are the only two cars within a second of the car in front, so this field is starting to get a bit spread out now.
That's Monaco. To answer Bully's question, how much is Smitty going to win by?
If a Cowboy looked like he went for a bit of a lunge on Basink there into the Nouvelle Chicane. Basink straight lined it and was forced to give the spot back as Forehead comes to the pits. And Skins will take the lead of the race as Smitty picks up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits.
He's just taking L's this race.
Ooh, I think Basing just slapped the wall there. outside the pit entrance.
And Dalek actually just got ahead of Vassa there on the main straight. I didn't quite see it, but
Yeah, he's showing rapid pace at the moment. I think we did have someone come into the pits as well. I think Forehead, yeah, dropped down a little bit. But yeah, Vassa has dropped down behind Dalek.
I've been a bit of shenanigans in the turn 1 there, but I did not catch it at all.
Well, Forehead's come out of the pits behind Apex. We've got a yellow flag at Mirabeau, but it looks like it was just temporary.
Cowboy. Just letting people by once again. Oh my, that's not... Okay.
Not a good place to let someone by.
No.
As Apex has just got out of the way for Forehead, so... It's like...
Yeah, usually the... just the medium runners want to hold up the soft... Or the people that start on mediums want to hold up all these faster runners just so they can benefit themselves, but I guess they're just being quite courteous here. And
yeah, I mean Apex as well. I think this is his first race reserving for AFR, so I think he's probably just trying to keep it together. And Mr. Spicer is moving up the field now, up to P6 after that earlier stop. We do have Smitty and Skins in the pit, so Smitty getting that front wing replaced. He actually lost his right end plate, so I think he must have gone into the wall again. Skins on sort of hard tyres.
Yeah, he had wing damage.
Yeah, so he's trying to stay on the one-stop strategy, but the hards is going to make it a bit difficult to be competitive. He's come out behind his teammate, who was in last place after turn 1 with a bit of a spin. We didn't see who caused it, but sure we'll see after the race if it was anything sinister.
Dutchy is all over Apex's rear. Zeal can't get close enough. This is just showing how hard it is for Monaco.
Yeah.
410s any other track, it's easy.
Apex is on some old tyres as well, so Dutchy should be able to get through, but he's got a lot of battery as well saved up as we do those yellow flags with Cooper Cowboy just staying out of the way again.
Yep.
And Dutchy trying to go around the outside of the Mercedes, who's being very kind to him. And he does get the move done, so nice work by Dutchy. And Mr. Spicer now has got a bit of a run on Apex, and Apex gets out of the way again, so he's obviously just trying to finish those off, but I think Mr. Spicer's just clobbered the wall, and I think he might have got some wing damage from that.
Look, yeah. Turn 1 is just the killer of cars here.
Yeah, if you're offline as well, you can get some dirt on the tyres and just makes your braking zone a little bit longer, and he's catching out a few drivers.
Smitty's in the pits again.
Smitty is in the pits again, and I think he's having a classic Smitty race. He's getting another wing replaced. He's broken the same end. He's broken the same end plate. Yeah, who's that? Hounder in the chat can't have too many wings left for those lads, and I think Williams are about to go bankrupt. So, well done to Smitty. In fact, he's on his other medium set that he just took off, so he's on the 7-lap mediums.
Oh my lord!
Running out of tyres and front wings at Williams.
The budget cap must have hit Smitty's team hard. Look at Forehead.
Forehead all over the back of Vassa coming into turn 1. We've got a yellow flag in the final sector. Haas going slow there. Forehead gets through on Vassa. Nice little move there from the Asman. Vassa yet to pit, started on those medium tyres, so he'll be running deep into the race as we see Saxo coming to the pits. The Ferrari driver only been on those mediums for 3 laps, and he's getting his wing replaced as well. So very expensive race this is turning out to be for some of the teams.
Yeah, he was looking for a really solid finish. Probably somewhere in the top 5 region, and just unfortunate. It proves how it's a race of attrition. Oh, there's Kufu Cowboy.
Oh, and there's a Red Bull wing stuck on the tyre wall there, Centervot, and he's still in the race, but he is definitely struggling out there, Kufu Cowboy. At least now he can put on a set of medium
sims. I'm gonna guess he's not making it to the end of the lap.
Oh, we'll stick with him for the moment, as it's there's no one within a second of the car in front at the moment. There's Tier 2 is really turning into a race of survival at the moment, with no one too interested in actually battling someone else, or just battling the walls.
Oh God.
Ali points it out very well. At least there's no tax at Monaco for the wings that they're buying. So
Kufakamo does look like he's taking it very easy back, so I think he's okay.
There we go. Dutchy's now within DRS of Vasa as well now. He's been on those mediums for 11 laps, so I don't have as much of an advantage. He's still got yellow flags. I think that's just Vasa going so slow.
I think that was Smitty. Again.
Smitty is somewhere. Kiwi Cowboy's got a penalty for cutting. Smitty, no, Smitty.
Maybe it looks okay.
Maybe. Have a look at the off-board shot. Where is it? Here we go. His wing looks alright. It looks alright. Back on board with Dutchy. As he hunts down this Alpine. It's half a second now. Separates Alfa Romeo and Vasa. As Kiwi Cowboy did make it back to the pits, so no worries there at all for the Red Bull driver. He's still in it, just needs a few more people in front of him to retire. And to be honest, we do have a Haas in the wall. It's not Dalek, and it's Basic. Looks like, yeah,
He's
Matt
relatively
Massenet.
okay.
He's looks like his wing's all right, so I think he might have just lost the rear slightly.
Yeah.
Back up with Dutchy, who's gone for a move down the inside of Vasa. Vasa taking very wide line. I think he's not fighting this one too hard. And Dutchy up onto the podium. So solid drive from him. Started P9, so gained 6 positions in the Alfa Romeo. So solid race from him so
He
far.
crashed out very early. So, had to have a bit of a recovery.
Mr. Spicer now on the back of Vasa as well, so he's trying to close into the back of Dutchy, but he does have a 3-second time penalty that will hurt him at the back end of the race. And it looks like Vasa as well might be trying to just not hold up Mr. Spicer too much there. They're not quite doing the same race. I think Vasa will have to pit again, get off those used mediums.
Yep.
Certainly not making it easier, as easy as he did for Dutchy. I wonder if Mr. Spicer might be trying to make his way through in a moment on the pit straight.
Yeah, I think I just have a feeling he's just going to let him go on the main straight, like he did with Dutchy and even Forehead before. Although no, actually, no, he's decided that he's going to stay ahead of Mr. Spice for one more lap.
Apparently so. Thank you very much for the follow, Ace Shadow. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here. So we've just ticked over the halfway mark of the race, and we've got a very spread field at the moment as the tight confines of the street circuits of Monaco taking their toll a little bit. We've seen 2 drivers already out of the race, a few drivers as well, pretty much. Well, I think there's probably easier to say who hasn't had a wing replaced in this race than it is to say who has replaced one.
I'm going to check that actually. Let's
Interestingly,
see.
Apex and Vasa are the only 2 drivers not to stop yet, so they're running quite strong at the moment, but they will need to come into the pits. We see Kiwi Cowboy staying out of the way. Basink has stopped 4 times. Smitty and Kiwi Cowboy have stopped 3 times. Saxa has stopped twice, and he's still in the top 10, so solid effort from him.
I've kept 9 different drivers out of the 14 still in this race having a wing change. So there's 5 people that haven't.
And 2 of them will be the guys I just mentioned who hadn't pit yet. So
yeah, exactly. Vasa and Apex with 2 of them. I can't even figure out who are the other 3. I'm going to assume they're up the field a bit.
Dalek and Forehead wouldn't have broken a front wing yet. They're still in the lead.
Dalek, Forehead.
And so Dutchy, I say probably Dalek, Forehead, Dutchy, Vasa, and Apex. The only ones who haven't fixed a wing.
Hang on, my math might have been off here. And also Mr. Spicer, so 6.
Mr. Spicer, that's right. He was just a little bit slow. He made a mistake and dropped off the back of the lead cars. That's right. See, Basink has come into the pits for stop number 5, I think this is.
Oh no.
He's not having a good race for Haas, and Haas is already struggling financially without Uralkali's money this season, and a number of wings have gone through. They might need a bit of strife again.
It's his engine. What? That looked a bit. There was a lot of smoke coming out of the back of that car.
Oh, it is a Ferrari, so.
Okay, yeah, true.
Mr. Spicer looking pretty racy against Vassar now. I think he's getting a bit annoyed that he hasn't been given the service that Dutchy got, and he does dart to the inside now, heading into centre fight. Oh, and he nearly got his nose chopped off there as they pass, I think that's Valhalla, staying out of the way there.
It seems Vassar's decided to pick his pick his battle and trying to maybe hold Spicer up just enough so when he gets onto the softs in about 5 or 10 laps,
Yeah.
he maybe has a chance to catch back up.
At the moment, this is the closest battle on the track at the moment. Mr. Spicer still within DRS of Vassar, but just can't find the pace to overtake him. He's on 10-lap fresher tyres, and Vassar will be coming to the pits shortly. I expect him to come in at least within the next 9 laps. Go softs to the end, but this is going to be hurting Spicer's race so much. At least he's got a bit of breathing space behind. Apex is 9 seconds back, and Psycho 1.5 seconds further back than that. But Apex as well still has to pit in this race, so a little bit of breathing space there. And then his teammate will be released as well.
Yeah, alrighty. Look at the McLarens. We might see a bit. Oh, yeah, we actually saw a bit of team orders there. Skins goes straight past Combat Rat.
Yeah, Combat coming into the pits now. He's, I think he might actually have a bit of wing damage there.
Maybe.
Sorry, I think his right end plate is missing. Or
Yep.
yes, and there they are replacing the wing. So it made sense to swap the positions there, and Combat will go on to another set of mediums to the end, most likely. Skin's doing pretty well on those hard tyres. He's sitting in P8 at the moment. He's not making any gains on Psycho, who's actually closed up to the back of Apex as well. So those 21-lap-old mediums for Apex seem to be dying a little bit.
He still hasn't pit. There's actually... Basics just retired from the
Basics
session.
retired, and what's going to happen?
Oh, Dutchy
here?
just almost smacked him. Watch. Oh my.
Oh, boy,
Vassar and
Vassar.
they're
Oh, he's in the
zooming.
middle of the road.
Oh!
Oh, they both nearly clear. That's got to be a safety car. That is dangerous.
That is incredibly dangerous. There's a Red Bull!
Oh, the Red Bull
my
just
god!
I think he disappeared right as the Red Bull of Kufu Cowboy went through him.
Oh
that
my god.
was so close. And it's still not a safety car. Well done, well done, Codemasters. But this has allowed Psycho through on Apex, so he's up into P6. And Mr. Spicer so close behind Vassar. He's gone down the inside of Massenet. Vassar's out in the weeds, so it's going to be a little bit understeer for him, but he can't quite get the job done. But Mr. Spicer, is he going to have the power to get him? No. No one quite got the drive into Mirabeau to make the move stick. It's a good attempt by Mr. Spicer, but unfortunately he just doesn't have the speed, and now they're 6 seconds behind Dutchy.
Yeah, Mr. Spicer did not want this for his chance at a podium here. Just Vassar is holding him up so well here. And Spicer also has a penalty, so he definitely needs all the time he can get. Just not the case, unfortunately. And look at Psycho. Psycho's actually catching Spicer quite a lot right now. The gap was... I actually can't remember what the gap was, but he's definitely caught half a second this lap alone.
Yeah, now that Psycho's clear of the Mercedes, he's got a nice bit of clean air in front of him. You can see it does have a lap Ferrari in front, but once he the blue flags are observed, he'll have nice clean air to his teammate, who's still struggling to get past Vassar at the moment. When he knows that Vassar's going to be pitting sometime soon, probably in about 5 laps, but it must be so frustrating for Mr. Spicer knowing that his teammate's closing up a little bit. Actually, Psycho dropped back. He was about 10 seconds, and now it's out to 11, so I think Psycho lost a bit of time there, stuck behind the Ferrari, but
maybe, yeah.
As I mentioned, he is through, so he's got clean air between him and his teammate.
But yeah, it's not had the best of luck here. But talking about luck, Smitty is somehow in the points. I don't know how. He just is.
Bully, his #1 fan in the chat, is still saying that Smitty's on for the win here, but somehow I don't think that's going to happen.
I think we're more likely to see Smitty crash in the next few laps than him to win, but we'll see how that goes.
Still
But
14
we're
laps to
happy.
go, plenty of time.
Maybe we might see a safety car.
That's true. We saw one in the dying laps of Tier 1, and it didn't even wait for the field to bunch up. It just came straight back into the pits.
Yeah, that was odd.
It was very odd.
Although I didn't really care. I was on the track.
I mean, you were the reason it got brought out, so
Okay.
crash earlier next time.
I'll get hit in the bum earlier, maybe next time.
Saxa now is close up to the back of Skins as well. And those hard tyres really aren't giving the McLaren the performance that it needs to defend from the Ferrari. And I think we might be seeing a little move here into Mirabeau. And no dive bomb from the Ferrari.
Let's see if we can get a good exit out of Portier.
Looks much
Not
better on the
exactly.
traction than Skins,
Yeah.
but still only 3/10 behind. He's using a bit of the energy. Tux, no, I thought about it, but not quite close enough.
He actually got a really good exit compared to Skins, but I mean, if you're too far back, there's nothing you can do. He doesn't have the most ERS in the world either to play with. Compared to
Skins
Skins.
is very slow through sector 2, 3. I wonder if he's got a bit of front wing damage. So that would explain how Sax has been able to close up so quickly. And he is struggling. And there we do see the McLaren peel off into the pits. So Saxa is released, and he'll be looking forward to getting through Apex as well, who does need a pit soon as well. Back up to Mr. Spicer, still struggling to get past Vassar at the hairpin.
Matthias reckons Dalek bends it, safety car comes out, everyone gets a wing damage, and Smitty goes and wins the whole race.
Well, Psycho's now got back in the rhythm. He's taken a couple of seconds out of his teammate now. The gap's down to 9 seconds, and Mr. Spicer really needs to get through on Vassar, or he's going to be at risk of that penalty costing him a position to his teammate.
Yeah, this is just one of those moments. I was in a similar position in Tier 1, just wanted to get past the guy in front, but it's so difficult. It's just, yeah. And especially when you have a penalty, you see the gap and the delta moving down. Nothing you can do. Other than just make a risky move, but at this point in the race, at this point in the season even, realistically there's no point trying to make a risky move. Just keep where you're at and get a good haul of points.
Yeah,
I mean, that was my
exactly.
philosophy, it didn't work, but whatever. Saxa comes into the pits for a wing change as well.
Yeah, and then Apex
And,
lost the pit, so Smitty's going to be P7 in not that
the
long.
depth. Oh my god. Yeah, Smitty is well within that pit window of Apex.
And Vassar's got a pit as well, but I think Smitty might be a bit too far back, but he's got a lot of clean air now.
I mean, unless he can pull off a miracle, I think P7 might be the best
Oh,
that he can get.
Skins his pit again as well, so I think he got damage on his outlap.
Yeah.
Oh, Spice is so close to the back of Vassar.
Oh my, he almost hit him in the back there. He might be close enough this
Here
time.
we go, I think this is it. He's got plenty of ERS, and look, Vassar goes defensive. And Mr. Spicer takes the pit exit, and he's got the move done, so he's finally made it past Vassar. He's now 11 seconds behind Dutchy, but he is through, and he'll be able to push on and try and close that gap to the Alfa Romeo ahead.
And Apex does come into the pits, and it's a wing change for Apex.
So jumping on board
So
with
he's
Smitty.
off the list of clean races.
Out of the final corner, Smitty will get the move done on Apex, who's in the pits. I think Combat Rat's actually going to clear him as well, so good recovery from Combat, who's was last after the first lap with contacts at the first corner.
And if anyone in front of Smitty gets a bit of damage, like Vassar or Psycho, he's right in that pit window as well.
Vassar's got a pit as well, so at the moment the gap's about 30 seconds between Smitty and Vassar. He may gain another position here. It could be P6 in a couple of laps' time.
Especially if Vassar has wing damage.
Yeah, I mean, he's on 27 lap old medium, so his performance is going to be a bit down on Smitty's, but Smitty also on his original set of mediums, so they've been on for 20 laps. but he is starting to make gains on Psycho, who's closing in on Vassar as well.
And Vassar doesn't pit for one more lap. What is stopping Vassar from pitting? The softs can easily make the end here. They'll be so much quicker than the
I think
mediums.
he's waiting for a safety car, but as we've seen, the safety car seems to be bugged on this game now, so it's not likely to come out unless we have a major incident, like you said.
Yeah. Oh, both Valhalla and Cooper Cowboy pit. Both for wing damage.
Okay, so Basing stopped 5 times before he retired. We're now seeing Kufu stop for the 4th time. Valhalla is stopping for the 2nd time. So the Ferrari drivers had a pretty decent run. Smitty has stopped 3 times and he's P7.
Just take one of those away and he's right behind Psycho.
Well, one of those I'm pretty sure was the drive-through penalty he got for jumping the start, which he did gain 2 seconds of an advantage.
That is true.
Oh, Smitty. He's nearly lost the rear there, winding down the hill towards Portier. He keeps tank slapping on the exit of all the corners. He's pushing hard. He wants to gain this position on Vassar, but he is starting to make some gains. He's dropped the gap down to about 27, 28 seconds.
Vassar doesn't pit once again.
He's definitely waiting for a safety car, I think.
Yeah, 1 or 2 more laps though, and Smitty's in the window.
Yeah, and I think he might have been told by Bully. Bully's watching this stream, so I think he'll be telling him to push on.
Yeah. And a bit up ahead, Forehead now has a pit stop gap on Dutchy. So if he wants to maybe go for fastest lap in the last few laps, he's completely entitled to it without losing any points.
Yeah, absolutely, but he will be sacrificing the win. It gives Dalek a lot of wiggle room as well.
That is true. Was Combat always this close to Smitty?
He has caught up a little bit, so he's on much fresher medium tyres, so he's doing a really good job. Smitty is on 22 lap old mediums, so he is quicker than those ahead of him, but Combat is definitely having a good comeback in this race. Smitty does, of course, have a 3-second penalty as well. Combat does not, so Combat might be satisfied just staying behind. As Vassar does pit, and here we go. We're going to follow Smitty to see if he's able to jump him. I think the gap was down to about 22 seconds, so I think Vassar should be clear. And he's on the fresh soft tyres as well. And here we go. Vassar feeding out into the pit exit. And Smitty comes around the final corner. I think Vassar is clear. They got very, very close. I think the tyres had just started to go off for Smitty, so that's why he couldn't quite get the move done. But look at that, 1.4 seconds is the gap between Smitty and Vassar for P6.
Well, it's only 1.2 between Smitty and Combat now. It's less than a second. Smitty surely hasn't picked up more damage, has he?
I don't think he has. I think this is just tyre wear now.
Oh, true. Yeah, the 14 lap difference is yeah, definitely going to be playing on Smitty's mind a bit.
And the way that Smitty's been driving, trying to close in on Vassar, I'd say those rear tyres are definitely... look at him move out of the corner. I think Combat's got him here. Smitty stays to the racing line, and Combat doesn't quite go for it. You see how much earlier Smitty's having to brake to slow down for the corner. Those tyres have had it.
Oh, no, Bully just confirmed.
Yeah, Bully has confirmed. Yeah, just saw that as well in the chat. Bully's confirmed that Smitty has damage as well, so... Unfortunately, he must have pushed a little bit too hard. You can see that the McLaren's having a look. Ooh, has to get out of it. Oh, and he's gone right up his bum. And I think that might be some damage to Combat Rat.
Brain damage.
And he's used up all his ERS having to defend from Combat as well. So this could be it. Oh, he's thinking about it. Smitty's all over the road defending. Lucky it's Monaco, because it's probably the one place you can get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, but Combat is so close. He can probably pull off a dive, maybe. Oh, no, he's at a bad exit.
No, not quite. I think he's... With that penalty that Smitty's got, I don't think Combat's going to race him too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on him. Oh, he's actually tapped him.
That.
He's tapped him. And Combat getting a little bit squirrely as well on the throttle.
Wow, look at Vassar, I'm pretty sure was almost 16 seconds behind Psycho when he came out of the pits 2 laps ago. He might be able to catch up to him.
Yeah, on those fresh
Maybe keep an
tyres,
eye
there's
on
going to be
that.
a second or two quicker a lap. There's only 6 laps to go, though, so he's got to
Yeah.
hope that he's able to pump in 2 seconds a lap quicker.
Oh wow, Smitty and Combat getting lapped by Dalek here.
Yeah, there we go. You can see that the Haas is now in between Smitty and Combat. There he is, you can see from behind. Actually, I think Dalek just had a stutter or something because he just teleported backwards a little bit. Watching by Smitty's rear
Oh, it's done it
view.
again. This might be...
And look at that, 2.5 seconds is the gap now between Dalek and Forehead. He's really got an issue here, Dalek.
Yeah. Both of these guys still in the championship.
It's
no matter
raining.
where they
It's
finish.
raining.
It's oh no!
There's rain at Monaco.
Oh my God,
We've got 5 laps to go, and these medium runners are going to be struggling in these conditions. This is going to play into Vass's hands beautifully.
Oh wow.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
coming
that's
down
actually-
pretty hard. That's quite a bit of rain. Oh, and Dalek's stuttering. He is stuttering. He's got a mechanical issue.
Oh no, that's just the worst case scenario here. It's raining really hard. It might be into conditions the last few laps of the race here, which again plays straight into Vass's hands, but Vass might have hit the wall.
You can see the rain there, and the traction control that they're getting. The McLaren's
Oh,
around.
Combat's around.
Combat's around. And Kufa
Kufa
Cowboys
Cowboys
retired
out.
at turn 1.
Is this enough for a safety
Oh,
car?
I think there's an
Oh,
issue.
Combat's
Psycho
on
can't get past. The Red Bull is blocking the track. Psycho cannot get
Oh my
past.
lord, he's-
That's
yeah,
a safety.
safety car.
Virtual
Oh, no,
safety car is
seriously.
deployed. Psycho is trying to nudge through the Red Bull. He's made it. It's only a virtual safety car, but look at the spray coming off his tyres now. Smitty's picked up a 5-second penalty for a collision with Dalek as they all come into the pits on some intermediate tyres, and Vassar has lost his advantage. He's pit for the inters, and look at the spray coming off the track now.
Wow. Monsoon conditions here in Monaco.
Absolutely, that's almost full wets now. Look at the spray coming off Vassar as he comes out of the pit lane. Let's have a look at Dutchy. Look at the spray as he goes through to back. He's having to tiptoe through there. As Dalek and Forehead have both got intermediate tyres, Dutchy is struggling to make it back to the pits. Smitty is pit, and I'm pretty sure he's just put on fresh medium tyres. Smitty's put on fresh mediums on a wet track. Oh, Bully, what are you guys doing at Williams?
Dutchy finally makes the pits. If the virtual safety car isn't...
It's still virtual.
If Psycho might get jumped by Vassar here. Because it's green and he's on the drive.
Dutchy's in, Mr. Spicer is in, Psycho is all the way down at the Nouvelle Chicane.
Wow.
17-second gap behind Vassar. Yeah, that's definitely within the pit window. I think it's about 20 seconds for a pit stop. And Psycho's going to be at risk here.
Psycho could do nothing, just sit there as it poured at turn 1.
That's it. Like that was just so unlucky with that. But we've got Smitty in
Dalek spun!
Oh, Dalek's lost it at the Nouvelle Chicane, and Forehead's gone through. Forehead in the lead of the race.
I don't know if there was any contact, but Dalek definitely was
Psycho
around
has
there.
made it back into the pits, but Vassar is going to overtake him. As Smitty
Vassar
drops down to P9, he's made it to back. That's a bit sketchy. And Psycho has been jumped by Vassar in the pits.
Wow.
And I think he's actually going to get lapped, Psycho, here. Forehead and Dalek go through.
Yeah.
And that's it. Psycho's now a lap down.
Wow, there's only 5 on the lead lap.
Well, Dutchy is 40 seconds behind Dalek, who's closed back up to the back of Forehead. So this race has come alive with just 4 laps to go. And he's within a second of Forehead, so he can't get the lead back as he has a big drift out of Casino. And these conditions are so treacherous. So we see Smitty has finally come in off those brand new medium tyres and onto a set of intermediates. And he's still in P10, so he might actually still come out in the points with Skins just coming through the final corner now. And I think Smitty is still in P10.
Yeah. Wow, Dalek would be pinching himself here for that Nouvelle Chicane spin last lap. But he's still close enough to almost mount a challenge. There's only, well, 3 laps to go at the end of this lap. These conditions would be very tough to drive in right now.
Absolutely. Dalek's really struggling at the moment. It almost looks like it's full wet conditions. You know, spray he's getting off the track. And he's lost a second. Oh, I think he's got damage. He's hit the wall again. Coming out of swimming pool. He does have plenty of time to pit and get a new wing if he needs to.
Yeah.
But he's trying to stay with Forehead, but he's dropped to a 1.5 behind Forehead. He's really struggling on throttle out of the corners.
Yeah, maybe at this point he just hopes Forehead makes a mistake now. He does look... Forehead looks really good in the wet here.
Dalek's mum in the chat saying that Dalek is very quiet, beware. So I think he's really concentrating, but he's losing time.
Oh no.
It's nearly 3 seconds. I think he's definitely got some wing damage. So I think the win is off the table for Dalek, and he may be vulnerable to Dapsy here, but he's got a 40-second advantage at the moment. Pretty hard to see that coming undone for him.
Yeah.
Apex all over the back of Saxa now. He's really starting to show a bit of performance in these wet conditions. 7/10 to the Ferrari in front, and you can see Psycho's not that far in front of them, so...
I think Vasa might have had a bit of a... In fact, he lifted through the tunnel quite a lot.
Might have a bit of wing damage as well.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, he cuts the chicane. There's definitely something wrong with Vasa's car. Psycho is closing rapidly. Well, I would say there's something wrong with Vasa's car, but he's got both of his end plates still intact.
Might be lime damage, and in these conditions you really don't want to be having understeer. And yeah, 1.2 seconds is the gap now to Psycho. Apex is all over the back. Sax, oh, but he's in the wall! Apex is in the wall coming out of swimming pool. He had a big snap of oversteer. He's still within half a second of Saxa, but I can't help but think that he's probably got some wing damage from that. We've got a yellow flag, so we've got a McLaren around. That's Skins, I think, in the tunnel entrance. Yeah, just out of Mirabeau. No, not Mirabeau. Portier, that one. Too many names that are not my language. And then he's lost his full front wing there.
Well, that confirms Smitty in the points.
Smitty definitely in the points, P10. A lap and a half to go. Skins cut the chicane, I think, because of that wing damage. Probably wasn't going to make the corner anyway. And I think that was Mr. Spicer there lapping the McLaren. And it's looking so treacherous. I think if they had a few more laps, they'd be going onto the full wets, but it's gonna have to do on the inters.
Look at this train for P5. All these guys are lapped. Actually, only 4 people on the lead lap right now.
So Smitty is actually catching Combat as well. The gap's down to 3.5 seconds, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on that right to the end of the race. They are a lap down though, so I think we actually might see... Forehead's got a little bit more to go. Apex tagged the wall there as well. There's this little train forming in P5 now. Vasa, Psycho, Saxa, and Apex. Saxa's actually through Apex now. As Forehead starts the final lap of the race.
Vasa had a bit of a moment out of Rascas, but manages to hold the gap to Psycho.
Skins starts coming to the pits to get a new wing, so that's nearly a minute gap behind Smitty. That should be enough for him to stay in the points.
Well, Smitty's catching Combat by seconds a lap.
Yeah, 1.5 seconds now. It's gained a second and a half ahead of that lap alone. You can see them, they're coming out of the final corner, so we keep an eye on that as it develops. This is the final lap of the race, so Vasa is trying to hold off from Psycho, but if he makes one mistake, he could be losing 3 positions.
Yeah. Psycho goes very deep at the hairpin.
Yeah, he's just lost a little bit there. Yeah, you can see Apex still all over the back of Saxa.
Yeah.
So it looks like he might just be doing enough to hold on to the P5 here. We've got a yellow flag. The Mercedes is round. Apex has got around. He's tagged the wall at the Nouvelle Chicane. And he picked up a 5-second penalty for corner cutting.
As Forehead comes around the last corner.
There we go. Well, did a really nice job staying with Dalek. Decided not to go for the fastest lap, and I think that's helped him get the win there. Dalek will come across the line. Oh, as we see a McLaren go into the wall as well. Dalek will pick up P2. We're going to see what's happening with Vasa. Comes across the line ahead of Psycho, ahead of Saxa and Apex. And that'll be those midfield positions settled. Smitty is going for a bit of a run on Combat right here. I think Combat's got a little bit of damage, and Smitty is opening up the corner nicely. He's got a good run. Oh, look at the traction. He's trying so hard to get the win here, and he will just have to settle for P10, but a good effort from Smitty nonetheless. And we see Dutchy now coming onto the pit straight as well. And he'll take the final step on the podium. And a solid drive from him as well. A good recovery drive as well. Coming up 6 positions. Forehead up 5 as well. And Vassar up 7. And we're just going to jump further back. I think that's Valhalla, followed by Mr. Spicer, who picks up P4 as well.
Wow.
Crazy race at the end. Virtual safety car and a bit of rain as well to spice things up. And it was heavy rain. I've not seen on this game the conditions deteriorate that quickly. Maybe that's a bit of foreshadowing for what's to come a bit later tonight.
Maybe. It was meant to be rain in real life Monaco here.
Well done to Forehead. Kept it clean the whole race and really paid off a very nice drive.
Yeah, Forehead's done well there. Dalek as well, very unlucky not to get the win. I think the rain might have had something to do with that.
Yeah, good effort by Dalek. Very unfortunate there at the end with that little mistake when in the tricky conditions and couldn't quite stay with Forehead. I think he might have picked up some damage from that incident as well. But Dutchy as well, rounding out that podium. Solid drive from him. Well done to Mr. Spicer, Vassar, Psycho, Saxa, Apex, Combat, and Smitty, rounding out the points. Everyone up to Vassar was a lap down at least, so absolutely mega drive from those lead cars to keep it so clean. Unfortunately, we had Skins and Valhalla just outside the points, and we did have Kufu, Cowboy, Basink, Sneaky, and Mika not finishing the race. Well, thank you very much for tuning in this evening to watch Aussie Formula Racing. It's been a pleasure to commentate. I hope it's been just as good for you guys watching and listening. Thank you very much, T-Mac, for jumping in after Tier 1 to commentate with me. You did an excellent job. Nice calls you made.
Thank you.
Well, and I've been Gus Rules, so thank you very much for tuning in this weekend. We will be at Singapore next weekend as well. We will be starting pretty much bang on time because it could be a long one with it being one of the longest tracks on the calendar, and it may take the full hour to get the race done if we get any rain or safety cars. So do make sure you tune in for that as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night. We'll see you next time.
Hey.